Good evening and welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern episode 93rd on this wonderful Sunday night at 8 p.m. Oh, they're not here yet. Let me introduce them. Coming up first is MPV Graham. Hello, Graham. How are you?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Wonderful, thank you. Also joining us is Million Man Ian.
Hello. It's now 1.3 million man Ian, but hello.
Whoa. Well, I'll update that immediately. Let me just type away. Okay, done. Also got ladies' favourite Daniel's back.
Hello.
What the fuck was that?
For the win.
And of course, the man that running the show, Scottish Gruff Ross.
Hello.
I'm
I
very
need a
proud
second
of
to get over
myself.
Daniel's wonderful little intro there. If you're not watching, you need to go check it out on YouTube. That
was terrible.
That was wonderful.
Dan, I'll give you one applause for that.
Thank you.
Everywhere do you get one from me?
Yeah, I know. I'll just get abuse.
So thank you very much for tuning in once again. We are Xbox Tavern. This is Xbox Tavern episode 93rd on youtube.com/Xbox Tavern official every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Yes, there we go. And we're going to get into the week's video game news, specifically Xbox related. And we're going to start with, despite if you're watching this live or if you listen to this somehow on a Sunday evening, the bigger news that happened today. We'll get to that later on. We're going to start with Goldeneye. It's come back finally after it was really launched in 1997. Gentlemen, how old does that make you feel? Very old.
Yeah.
But just not as old as you.
Yeah. Hey, what was that? Anyway, let's carry on. So finally, after all the rumors and speculation, etc., Nintendo had a showcase earlier this week, and they revealed that GoldenEye 007 will be coming back as part of their Switch Online service, which we all got way and we were like, wait a minute, what about the Xbox side? And about 5 seconds later, Rare and Game Pass and that tweeted out that it will be coming to Xbox in 4K upscaled vision to Game Pass as well. So this pleases everybody. We'll get to the downer ever so shortly. But Ross, are you happy to be able to play this game again at some point shortly? They haven't announced a release date yet, but are you excited?
Cannot wait.
Nice.
Love this game on the 64. Love the film. Massive Bond fan. Can't wait to run around with your charcoal pencil AK-47. No, it's been how long has this been rumored that GoldenEye's getting a remaster on Xbox Game Pass? It feels like it's just every time like E3 or Gamescom or Game Awards come around, it's like, could there be a GoldenEye game? Could there be this? Could there be? And then eventually we've finally got around to it and we're getting it in stunning 4K. Can't wait to see that. And also for Ian's enjoyment, we'll get to see some achievements for it as well. The achievements for this one are going to be weird.
I've seen them already because they came out quite early, didn't they?
I'll have
I'm sure they popped up on True Achievements the other day. Ian, has any of them caught your eye as something that you'd like to aim for? I know you're obviously going to go aim for the 1,000 anyway, but any one particular achievement you're like, that's the one?
Apparently, you've got to play the whole game and then using the club.
I really hope that's true.
That was true. Yeah. No, it seems like a normal list, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I think, like you say, it's obviously put the game on the highest difficulty. It's probably the hardest one because that was quite a bitch. I remember back in the day, but then I was younger then.
I mean, as we spoke about this many times already over the last few weeks, but having the different difficulties where you've got, agent where it gives you one objective and then secret agents gives you 2 objectives and it goes up and up from there. I imagine they're going to factor into the Chivos as well as just showing people how difficult it should be done, I think. Daniel, are you excited about GoldenEye action coming to Xbox at last?
Oh, can't wait. And I'm looking forward to hosting like an online multiplayer match.
Why did you have to be that guy?
Hey, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But first, Graham. I don't know. I couldn't possibly count the amount of hours we spent at your house playing this. Are you looking forward to jumping back in finally with 4K resolution, 16:9 widescreen, dual analog stick control?
I think that's going to be the bit that's going to be a big difference. It's the fact that the controls of the N64 at the time was part of its kind of charm, as with the random polygon-shaped people.
The hands all that.
So the dual control is obviously a big game changer when it came to this, because obviously you're using that single, almost semi-tank movement of the N64 to how you steer and aimed. And that just made things that all a bit difficult because you had the C buttons, which was the equivalent of your right analog sticks, the up, down, left, right C buttons to do your strafing and such.
And then you had to hit the right bumper to stop and aim with the stick, didn't you? And then you could move.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that was part of the challenge, and obviously people have been so practiced now with the dual stick aiming now. So it's, I don't know if it's, well, making it easier is obviously definitely one bit, but it depends how much they've changed, because, you know, depending on how much you stray from the originals, how much charm's kind of lost. Yeah. That one was always going to be a given, the dual stick bit, but the graphics is one. I mean, I don't know how you can 4K something like that unless you do improve the graphics, but I'm not sure if that will kill some of the charm as well. Because most of the multiplayer levels were cool. There's the fact that it was kind of unfinished. There was like no railings, no protection walls, or even everything was pretty much open, except for in the facility where you had the bathroom doors or whatever, and that was probably about it.
But even then, like, even though there was no railings on the ramps and stuff, you still couldn't jump off the edge after time. You was like invisible walled your way down.
Invisible walled, but it was open.
Yeah. But you could still shoot through it.
And so that was the thing. So it literally depends on how much they've changed from the original. And I was completely oblivious to what Dan's mentioned, but I assume that's going to be a big killer as well.
Well, if you haven't heard yet, we'll get into we'll deflate your balloon ever so slightly in a second. But like I'm looking forward to playing it very much so, because obviously, as I said, we played fucking hours, and I went through all the difficulties, getting all the different cheats and stuff you could unlock, which apparently are coming back for this as well. But I'm not sure that it will hold up, like you said, with dual analog sticks. Will it compare to the likes of Halo and Quake and Doom and all these other first-person shooters that come out since? Because obviously they were made for it, whereas this is going to try and sort of retrofit two sticks into one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, an excuse to play GoldenEye again is a good excuse as far as I'm concerned. And again, going back to the announcement of Switch Online, because it's included as part of their what's it called, like Switch Online Plus expansion pack or something?
Something
like that. Because it's
expansion
included on
online.
That. Yeah. So that service includes multiplayer for a lot of the older games like Mario Kart 64 and I think whatever other racing game and stuff is on there, and that's why the Switch version is getting online play. However, to slightly deflate ourselves, like I said, Microsoft has confirmed to VGC, obviously VGC, that the Xbox version of GoldenEye will not feature online multiplayer. They're excited to bring it to Game Pass for the first time, a faithful recreation of a much-loved and iconic title. And while there are no plans to include online multiplayer as part of it on Game Pass, Xbox is focused on bringing this title to players in ways they fondly remember, including local multiplayer, allowing up to 4 players to take to the couch in a battle of wits and skill. The
good thing about it as well is also, even though it's going to Game Pass, it's coming free to anyone that owns Rare Replay.
Yes.
So
nice.
So if you own Rare Replay, you get free. I wouldn't be surprised if this GoldenEye will be a year Game Pass. So imagine that anyone who owns Rare Replay will get it for free for the super future.
But I believe Rare Replay is in Game Pass as well, isn't it?
That's a good point. True.
So it probably ends up sticking around. But yeah, that's a good little touch.
Did they go Games with Gold or not? Did they go Games with Gold once?
I don't know.
Or wasn't it given out free? I maybe it was given out free.
I bought it a year or so ago for about £5, so it's been very cheap at several points. But we're kind of sugarcoating the fact that you can get it either Game Pass or Rare Replay, or you can just buy it. But if you're playing on Xbox, you're gonna have to go old school and get with your friends around. Which, in this modern day and age, who's got time for that? It seems odd to me to have online play exclusive to the Switch when everybody knows that the Switch is online is like the worst out of the big three.
Yeah, it does it seems a weird choice.
And again, I know it's part of, like I said, of the expansion pack or whatever it is. But if they can make it work there, why can't we make it work on Xbox? Unless there's some sort of deal that they struck. Because obviously, as Russ alluded to, this has been a long time coming. I think is it like the some sort of anniversary of James Bond this year?
25th.
Yes, of Golden. Yeah, so obviously that's, I imagine, part of it. But perhaps part of the deal was Nintendo were like, we'll only let you publish it Xbox if you put it. Don't have online, we have online. Seems very strange. But Graham, does that ruin the excitement somewhat for you, since you didn't seem to know that beforehand?
A little bit, because that was kind of the main. I mean, the single player was fine. But it's kind of fine for the time. I'm sure, depending on what upgrades they've done to it, it'll still be kind of a half decent playthrough. Yeah. But the multiplayer was definitely where it was at. So it's going to kill the buzz for a lot of people, and those trying to get their sort of younger generation to sort of buy into it, saying you missed out on this when this came through. This was cutting edge at the time, and it goes to show you don't need all the best of bells and whistles to make a decent multiplayer game. And it was like, yeah, you can only do it locally though, so it's only going to be me and you, and I'm just going to pummel the crap out of you.
Yeah. Especially if everything is as you remember it, all the levels and weapons and stuff like that. Is anybody going to actually pick it up? Has anyone got the Switch expansion pass, and is anybody tempted to get it so they can play this online?
I can imagine Dan will probably pick it up, so therefore I'll get it by proxy. But yeah, I can't see me picking it up just for the Switch version.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether I will do the expand. I've just got the basic bitch Nintendo online.
Because I suppose technically we could do, again, like we spoke about the Game Pass family sharing. I think you can have an account of up to 8 people, so we could all get together and work this out. But again, it's only 4-player online as well. So, I mean, one of us is going to have to sit out. Oh, sorry, Ian.
To try and coordinate Switch's online play is going to be challenging enough.
Well, yeah. Coordinating 5 people, we have a tough time trying to do Game Pass.
Exactly, yeah.
Coordinating Dan is tough as it is.
Hey, I turned up.
We're bringing it all back, right? But yeah, so this is a shame, obviously, but it still doesn't detract too much, hopefully, from the fact that Goldeneye's back at last. We can share it, like you said, Gray, with new players who haven't played it before, and hopefully, as they said, they'll include all the different difficulties and cheats and everything. So I remember running through the facility trying to do it on the 4 different difficulties, and I think the final one was how you got, was it invisibility or invincibility or something?
Invincibility,
and you had to beat it in
under
like
5 minutes or something.
No, it was fucking like 1 minute 20 seconds or something. You had to get through that level, and it took me so long, but I did it at last. And now it's just on my N64 cartridge up there, not played for 20 odd years.
The only mode you should play is big heads, slappers only, 1 hit, 1 kill.
Yeah, so like I said, slappers better than the clubs all day long.
Everyone loves a good slap.
Oh yes. So no date yet, but they said soon. So hopefully before the end of the year, that would be nice, especially if it is the anniversary of the film and stuff.
When did the film come out?
1997, didn't it?
25 years ago.
I was going to say, yeah. The game was 97. I've got a feeling. Shall I look it up? Let me ask Jeeves quickly. Jeeves. Well, 95 the film, so it must have been
95, yeah.
Of the game itself, which is even more exciting because reasons. Yeah, video games, good. Goldeneye, good.
That doesn't add up. That's not 25 years of the film.
No, not from the film. No, from the
game.
game.
The game.
Anyway, let's move on from basic maths going over our heads.
Yeah.
7th of November.
Hopefully we'll get a date at some point soon, and we can all play together. Well, 3 of us can play together, and 2 of us can sit on their lonesome and play and pretend they play with us. Yeah. We have to get special guest Pete round for old time's sake. Right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Goldeneye, good, very exciting. However, let's get on to what probably should have been the main story had it arrived a little bit earlier. But I mean, we talked about this game enough for the past month or 2. I don't know if you saw, there were some videos going around the internet earlier on about this small game called Grand Theft Auto 6.
Wow.
Some guy, let me find out his name quickly. Again, I'm reading from VGC as always, because there they are the best. Posted to GTA forums by user Tepot Uber Hacker. I'm going to go with that pronunciation. And the footage includes open world gameplay, which is alleged to be from GTA 6, and they appear to be legitimate. It's claimed that by the leaker that the videos were downloaded from Slack. And then Jason Schreier has so far gone on to confirm that with his Rockstar sources that they are actually legitimate. And there was about an hour's worth of footage from like test build. So one had the characters, which I'll forget their names right now. I'll find it in a second. But the girl was robbing a shop and her male partner was like holding the customers up hostage. And then they went outside and fought the police. There was another one where they were just like fighting the police out in the streets. There's another where they're driving, another where they're just doing little testings, like in a grey box scenario and stuff. A lot of it very technical. There was like fucking code flashing over the screen and prompts popping up that were all obviously not designed for any players to see. But did anybody else watch any of the footage before I carry on?
I've seen a bit of the footage, yeah, and it does seem obviously it's all test build, but it does look legit.
I mean, that's the thing, it is legit. I mean, Jason Schreier came out and said that basically he's been in contact with Rockstar and they've confirmed that the footage that he did see was legitimately for GTA 6. Obviously, it was in a a pre-alpha build or whatever they decide to call it, but what you seen was confirmed to be GTA 6, which is mind blowing. I've seen a lot of backlash for it for the simple fact of people are going to now see the game date and delayed because they want to take things back, see the reaction of it, edit it again, so it might put the release date back further because they've seen this leaked.
Yeah, it's not just the game that's leaked. This footage, it's also GTA 5 and GTA 6 source code, which happened to Half-Life 2 way back when, and they had to delay the game by years because
they have to fucking change all of that.
Yeah, to go back and fucking amend it all. Carry on, sorry.
So, I mean, as much as it's great for us to see X, Y, and Z about the game, it could have essentially fucked things for us at the same time. Yeah,
it's he's putting out a lot, and he was doing a big thread on the GTA forums saying, ask me anything, and I've proved it is real. And they were asking for all this different information, including apparently some parts about some court case they're currently going through with some hackers and stuff. He was like, yeah, no problem. Just shared all his information with him, which is obviously going to put him in even more fucking trouble.
Yeah. But I mean, if they track that guy doing, good luck to ever seeing him again.
Yeah, as I said in one of our Discords or somewhere, I forget, like the last people we want to piss off is Rockstar, who've got infinite money, time, and lawyers to come after you. You'll be. And at the minute, the last update I saw before we came on here was he was trying to blackmail them, as it were, saying, Rockstar, get in touch with me, and if you pay me, basically, I won't leak anymore and stuff. So, dude, you've already fucked yourself. Like,
why are you leaking?
You've got no chance. Of all the, even if they were to pay you, they're still going to come after you.
You're kind of pissing into the wind here.
Yeah. Aren't I right in saying, like, was it during Red Dead that they were sacking employees who were leaking any information? So they've got no issue finding this hacker and
they
making sure he's dealt with.
They will eventually find him. I just wanted to say that the protagonist's name, because it seems to be like GTA 5, you've got the 3 you can switch to. Here it seems to be the 2, and it is, if I can open my fucking phone once again, Jason and Lucia, who seems to be boyfriend and girlfriend, as the leaks were saying, like a Bonnie and Clyde type duo, just causing shit and havoc and stuff. It looked good. Obviously, the footage itself was about 240p rendering, so it looked fucking well low res, but in terms of like the world, it was obviously set in Vice City because the police cars had Vice City emblazoned on them, and there was a Vice City metro train, I think. And you could see from like the palm trees and the beaches and stuff in some of the bits, it's obviously a Vice City, but it looks fucking massive as well, just again from the limited bit we saw. A lot of people obviously don't understand how games work. I'm like, it just looks like GTA 5. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, because it's GTA, but it's also very, very early. This is supposedly like a couple of year old build as well, so it's not like he's got up to the minute things. But I mean, in terms of leaks and stuff, this seems to be the biggest one Rockstar I've ever had, and one of the biggest ones in gaming I can think of, other than perhaps Half-Life 2.
I can't remember anything that had like 90 minutes of or 90 like screenshots and clips of all various. It's not like it's like you've got X amount of clips from the same area but different angles. This is like shitloads of things that they're seeing different parts of, whether it be the robbery in the fast food shop, the things like even seeing something like the billboards that had X amount of things on it. Stuff even like billboards in the background had certain manufacturers that are only exclusive to the GTA universe, the trains, the police cars, everything like that. I mean, this is like loads of different things to actually highlight. One, it's Vice City, and two, it's the current project that Rockstar are working on. It's nuts the size of this leak.
Yeah, it's just insane the amount of stuff that he's shared. I shouldn't say this person has shared. Who knows who they are, but Graham, Ian, Daniel, have you checked any out? Does it do anything for you? Are you interested, or you got anything to add to it?
I saw a brief bit of the female holding up the shop, or it was in there. It's what you kind of expect GTA to be. It's kind of an unofficial leak, so it's just like someone's gameplay of it, which is exciting enough because you kind of knew it's going to be a female protagonist. People had some suspicions, but what's to say they're not going to change anything that you've kind of seen there as well. So it's a big one, but there's nothing on there that's sort of massively surprising. It's just got more people guessing. If anything, it's just created more buzz around it, so they can easily turn this negative into a win anyway, just to generate the kind of hype about it.
I mean, the Rockstar are notoriously like tight hold things tight to their chest. They don't share very often. So something like this, I've no doubt. I mean, they're all obviously off today, and I imagine they were supposed to be off tomorrow. But maybe they're all going to be drawn into the office now and be like, quickly fix this, get some of like official trailer or something made together so we can share that instead of this fucking dodgy looking footage. But
who knows? They do on purpose.
I mean, that's one of the speculation and rumors, nonsense that's going around in it, as well as all people getting upset, like you said, Gray. Oh, I don't want to play as a woman. Fuck off. Play as players.
Well, they've it's all falling into line. So all the rumors and the whispers that you've heard, kind of, we knew that there was going to be some sort of Bonnie and Clyde-esque kind of female protagonist. Didn't know it was going to be a boyfriend, but it's all kind of led and
your new favorite couple.
It's all come to fruition, hasn't it? Sorry?
So your new favorite couple.
Yeah.
It is my new favorite couple. Cannot wait.
At least this one's legitimate.
See.
I have nothing to do with this.
You lot. But the rumors that we've heard a few weeks back is all coming true.
Yes. So obviously,
I'm excited.
We're not expecting the actual game for many, many years at this point, but it already looks like it's quite coming along quite nicely, especially if this is older stuff. There's a lot of voice acting, which I noted in the video, which I wouldn't expect if it was that early, because there's one bit where they're walking for a club and all the NPCs are talking and the characters got a fully dialogue like walk as they go through the club and he's talking to different people. And it goes on for a good couple of minutes and it sounded like proper voice acting, not just like placeholder, like someone in the studio has gone, hello, I'm here to talk about video. But
it seemed alive, didn't it? As the world, I think I was watching the first clip that you dropped for us when she was getting shot by the police or something, and you could just hear all the, as you say, the NPCs talking, and it felt GTA and alive. So looking forward to it.
Yes. So hopefully again we'll get some sort of official news on it at some point soon. But it looked like GTA with slightly more upspuffed things and pieces.
Thing is, would it shock you if Rockstar just kept hush?
No.
Just didn't say a word, just okay, it's out there, and just that's it. Nobody commented on it, just nobody even acknowledged it, just left it as it was.
I mean, they've already started taking down all the videos.
Yeah, they'll do all of that side of it.
So that's sort of like a confirmation without saying anything really. But I'll be surprised if they didn't, like you said, just
leave it.
But
I did see a tweet that they said they should follow Xbox's marketing plan, where they had the picture of the guy with the eyes going.
The little monkey, like,
and that's it. Yeah, exactly. And then just move on.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, they got a good sense of humor, obviously, but I don't know if they're prepared to go quite that far.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so if you're listening now, or if you're listening, shortly after record, you might still be able to find some videos up there. But chances are, most of them will be disappeared into the ether at this point.
If you click into the article where it first drops the user's name, the source files that he leaked is all still there, so you're able to like scroll through the forums and have a look at them there.
Which surprised me actually, because I thought that would have been the first thing to go down. But
yeah, I mean, for the sake of the industry and things like that, I don't recommend downloading them for your own personal entertainment. Watch them maybe online and shit like that, but don't like download them and try and re-upload to other places and things like that. It's been leaked, fair plays, but don't fucking keep trying to put it back out there.
And so don't share the heat that this person's going to get. Just let them.
You're setting yourself up for a fall.
Yeah. And obviously, like I said, as Jason Schreiner said, like the Half-Life one, it could end up pushing the game back even further because they've got the source code and stuff, which is not. I mean, that's well above my fucking understanding of how things go. But let's just hope it doesn't, and hope we still get it in the next 10 years, not the next 15 years.
That'd be nice.
So so we'll see what happens from that. Obviously, that's basically taken up most of my day today. Well, I've been sitting eating lunch and scrolling through Twitter. Let me see more GTA. Is there any more news? But let's go back to some more Xbox specific news, shall we? And Bonnie Ross, the head of 343, is leaving Halo and Microsoft after 15 years. So she shared a message online, which I won't read the whole thing because it's quite lengthy, but basically she's got some family medical issues going on, and so she decided to step down. She wanted to wait until the end of the year, but whatever's happened, and she needs to go now. She obviously has been around, like I said, 15 years, long time. But at the same time, there's been a lot of discussion lately around 343 not particularly doing very well, especially in the last month or so. And now she's gone. Do any of you think there might be a little bit of conspiracy hat needed for this?
What, she was pushed before? She was jumped before she pushed?
More that it was like we were going to wait, but why don't you just
an easy out?
We'll pay you now. Please.
Yeah, put it like this: you weren't lasting any much longer, so just do the graceful thing and say you're stepping away.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, hopefully not. If like I said, if she's got a family, like medical thing, sounds like it's pretty serious. But it's a shame because she obviously oversaw Halo for a long time. And I think she did a podcast with Ryan McCaffrey, Ian's favorite, a long time ago, which is very interesting. She talked about the history of her job and Halo and everything, and it was quite good. On a couple of years old at this point, but yeah, so a bit of sad news. But hopefully they're replacing her. Not hopefully, they are replacing her with 3 people, I believe. And I'm just desperately trying to scroll to find the names of them.
No pressure, Jay. Come on, you can do
it. I can't find their names, but there was one that's been with Halo for a long time as well, and I think 2 are sort of fresher to the series, so we could see a bit more of a mix-up now rather than it getting a bit stale. I mean, Joseph Staten's still there, and he's obviously like the father of Halo, as it were. Does anybody else have anything to say about this before we move on?
No, not much more.
Good luck.
Halo.
All the best.
Yes, hopefully everything's all right. And
get on to the other big company that we need to talk about their games.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Ross. Why don't you tell us what you're most excited about that was revealed at Ubisoft Forward 2022?
Oh, that. I don't know where you were going with that.
Who put that new story in?
So we'll cover the smaller stuff to begin with. The Crew 2 has got a few things coming up. The Skull and Bones got some new gameplay trailers. I think everybody's waiting to actually see what that game's going to be like, because that game has been in development hell for God knows how long. I mean, that game's like, that was sort of dropped roughly about the same time as Sea of Thieves, was it not?
Thieves.
Was that the boat one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because stay in development.
It's more of a realistic pirate game, but it seems to have been taking like a day and an age to come. Division
play it together.
Right.
Division Heartland, which I think is that not like the more survival type game for the Division?
Yeah, so they're free to play as well, isn't it?
Free to play, yep. So that was given a wee bit more info, a wee bit of gameplay showed off for that. And then I suppose the big ones was Just Dance 2023 arriving in November.
Jay's favourite.
Damn right. I love a bit of Just Dance.
But no, the main ones was everything happening for the roadmap for Assassin's Creed. So we've got a DLC coming for Valhalla, which will wrap up the storyline for everything to do with that game. Called the last chapter. So that should arrive in the next couple of months. So it should be before the close of the year, and that will sort of finalise everything to do with everything in that game. And then there was a couple of other games announced. The next big one that was announced for it was Assassin's Creed Mirage. So that'll be the next main one in the storyline, which will take you back to Assassin's Creed's roots. So a lot less of the Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla type gameplay, and more back into the original sort of Altair, Ezio type idea games where stealth is much more important. Parkour is a big feature in the game. So
I've fallen off of Assassin's Creed for a long time.
Yeah, it's changed. It's
that
changed
little
a lot.
bit there, like going back to the original sort of premise.
Yeah,
back in.
I mean, the new Assassin's Creed games are good. They're not bad games if you take Assassin's Creed out the name. So if you were to replace it with something else and still have it as like Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, but just not Assassin's Creed at the front of it, they're still great games. They just don't fit the Assassin's Creed mold. So what they're saying about this one there is 9th century CE, Baghdad is at its height, leading the world in science, art, innovation, and commerce. Amid its bustling urban landscape, a conflicted young orphan with a tragic past must navigate the streets to survive, experience the story of Basim in Assassin's Creed Mirage. So people who have played Valhalla will recognise Basim as being one of the ones that are part of your journey. Obviously, there's a bit of a twist in the game with Basim, so you'll get to discover that if you play Valhalla. So it's obviously gone back to discover his origin story. no confirmed release date for it yet. I'd imagine this is what 2023 sometime.
Yeah,
probably. It's 2023, probably late 2023. Do we think?
October, November, like they usually do.
Yeah, I would say so. So that's exciting that they're going to have a game going back to the roots. The other big ones that were announced is Code Red, which is one that I think will be the best Assassin's Creed by a country mile. It's due to be set in feudal Japan, so you will probably pick up the role as a samurai. Ninja. Yep. No real details about it other than it's going to be in the same ilk as Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla, more of like an open world RPG, skill trees, mass exploration. So what we're used to in the last couple of games. Just the fact that it's in Japan seems like it's going to be an amazing idea. Like, I think the landscapes that we're going to have, if you think of sort of the old, if you think what was the one that we had as Project Game Pass, it's your Trek to Yomi. So you're going to have that sort of landscape, like your cherry blossom trees, the beautiful Japanese architecture. The other ones that were announced was Codename Jade, which is the mobile game, which is going to be set in ancient China. And then another interesting one that I don't quite know what to make of was called Hex. And it's due to be, I think they're saying it's going to be during like the holy...
like witch trials and stuff.
Yeah, the Holy Crusade type idea and the witch trials type idea that they're going to be coming from. There's even less about that so far, other than the name of Hex. But if you look at the symbol, it does look very sort of witchcraft type idea. So Assassin's Creed have put a big marker down for a nice roadmap of what to expect in the next 4 or 5 years.
And is those last two you mentioned, they're part of what's called Infinity, right?
Infinity,
so like,
yeah. So that's going to be like their
service.
Hub that sort of ties everything together there. So interesting to see how they sort of move on going forward, to see how everything's laid out in regards to this hub type idea that they're doing.
Yeah. So that obviously there was a lot of other stuff shown, but they were the big highlights, especially the Assassin's Creed fucking gubbins that was going on. Dan, Gray, anything take your fancy out of that barrage of information?
There was a lot of Assassin's Creed, wasn't there? I do like the Red. I do like the idea of Red, and I'm quite excited to go back to the original formula of Assassin's Creed and possibly not have a 100-hour game. Having a shorter game by half would be lovely. I might even dabble in it, and I won't finish it, obviously.
I was going to say, I might even finish it.
I might even play it. But yeah, I might play it for a little bit longer than 2 hours.
Rob yourself, Gray.
Yeah, it's hard because I really loved the Assassin's Creed series, and I really sort of dropped off at the English pairing one, Unity, I think it was.
Yeah,
Syndicate, wasn't it?
Syndicate,
that's the one.
Unity, was that not France?
Yeah,
I think it was. But that's where I kind of dropped off. But each of those games is just massive, so to sort of step back into it, I don't like stepping into it too far down and like skipping a few chapters. Although after sort of kind of Syndicate, the kind of story goes a bit arse about face anyway. It doesn't really tie up anymore with all the aliens or original things that hell is going on. I don't know if that thread's even in there anymore, if it's gone a completely different direction.
Another thing I meant to actually drop just when Dan was saying about the length of the game. Mirage is at a reduced sort of rate, so it's currently on the Ubisoft store for $49.99. So it's not going to come in as what you're expecting for your new AAA games, because Ubisoft also confirmed that they're moving to a £70 price model. So any of their other big sort of AAA titles will be at a £70 price mark. So it's quite good to see that that's actually going to be at a lower price band, because it is a smaller 40-hour game type idea.
Oh, fuck. I was thinking more like 4-hour game would be nice, not fucking 40 hours. No time for that shit. But
you can download the mobile version.
It'll take you 4 hours to collect the 2,000 feathers, Jay.
I was going to think of the pharaohs or pigeons you need to collect.
Wonderful. And did any of you lot play the? I forget what they were fucking called. There was one in India, one in I think it was China, and one in Russia.
The
side-scrolling ones.
Yeah, side-scrolling ones. No, not Revelations.
I have them. I bought
Chronicles. Was it something?
Chronicles.
Yeah,
that was
It was Chronicles. Yeah, I found
quite enjoyed
Russian
them.
one and a China one as well. Yeah.
I quite enjoyed all of them. I'd like something like that again because that was.
Well, I think that's
my
what
speed.
Jade's meant to be. Jade's a mobile one.
I don't want it on mobile though. I'd rather.
But it was mobile-esque. The ones that were like 2D ones that are on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, for someone who 1000G'd all of them, I think they're good games.
Ian, you don't get to say that because you 1000G everything. So,
including Football Manager.
Well, don't make.
Oh, don't talk about that.
But
no, Chronicles is good. Chronicles better than some of the games I've played, like Trek to Yomi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Trek to Yomi was good.
Trek to Yomi was good.
Yeah, I completed it.
I think the Chronicles were better than that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
Yeah, I can see why you'd say that. Yeah, I'm on the same.
But yeah, so as I said, this Mirage one sounds more up my street, so I look forward to playing that one.
As long as there's no boats, I'm happy.
No boats, no fucking around, just pure social stealth action.
Exactly, pure stealth, pure
nice.
cities. None of this shitty going around. Give us
spend
one
100
nice
hours
big
leveling up.
hub. Yeah, exactly.
Nice, cool. Well, I think that's about all of the big news for this week, really. We've got a couple of things that we missed. Well, obviously we weren't here last week, so I'll just read the headlines. If anyone wants to chip in, you can. If not, I'll read them and then we'll move on. Xbox have announced a new, cheaper version of the Elite Series 2 controller. So this is the core one. Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
What else did they announce, Jay?
The main one.
The big news for that Series 2.
Hang on. Did you give me a fucking second? I can only say so many words at once. Jesus
You
Christ.
have a big pause there for a podcast, though.
Yeah, you kind of messed up. You went there the lesser of the two stories. About
I
the
just
Series
read
2.
the headline anyway. So they've done a cheaper version of the Elite Series 2 called the Elite Series 2 Core, which is white and black, and it's lovely, and it doesn't come with any of the flappy pedals to make it worthwhile. Anyway, no, and they also did something about Design Labs, but they finally put in the Elite Series 2 into Design Labs at some point later this year. Ian, I know you were waiting for this. Are you actually going to pick one up?
100%.
Yeah.
Fuck yes, I am. It's going to be all the colours. All the colours.
Fucking right, I'm picking up a customizable Series 2. I don't care that I've got a perfectly good one sitting in front of me. I want a fucking personalized one.
They also said they're upping the warranty on the new versions of the version 2 Elite, aren't they? So instead of 3 months, it's now a 12-month warranty. Am I correct?
Something like that, yeah. Because of the bumpers, everybody's having an issue with that and the grips and stuff. I did notice it. I don't know if you obviously watched the trailer, but when they were cycling through the colours, it was only the body, not the grips, that were changing. I'm hoping that they give you a bit more freedom to have.
They won't change the grip colour. The grip colour will.
Yeah, but what I mean is everything was the same colour, so it was all purple or all orange.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
There was no like individual parts like there is in the current controller. So I'm hoping they at least let you give you funky coloured buttons and triggers. And
so you're not thinking it'll just be like the main body part that will change colour. You're hoping like this will be
you
different.
need to change that and
these.
Yeah, do everything like you can on the standard pads. But obviously it was only like a 5-second quick flash through different colours, so hopefully we'll get more information soon. That's coming later in the year. They've also unveiled a new home UI for Xbox users. I think some people on the insider program have got it already. I haven't yet.
Looks
tidy. It looks good. It looks just like they've basically taken the current one and just tied it up.
Yeah, just for the fact that like you've got all your like last 5 games or 6 games that you've played sitting in a row, you just click back into them. Yeah, it looks nice.
So hopefully
I like the games. I like the Game Pass part where it's like just under your main part, you've got what's just been added, so you can jump in and check it out pretty quick.
Something that we do need to do, because I saw a tweet from David Jaffa yesterday, and he was trying to find the latest games that were added to Game Pass, and he was like, "I can't find them anywhere." And to be fair, the video he went through, it didn't exist, and he had to reset his Xbox for it to come up saying the new releases. So hopefully this will solves that sort of problem. And then finally, Discord voice chat is now available for everybody on Xbox. So as I said in the tweet, you can find it on your Xbox, and if you can't find it, chances are you don't have an Xbox. So good luck. I've started using Discord this weekend. It's quite good, isn't it? You kids are all right.
Finally.
All right.
I'm using Xbox. I've used it in real life.
Yeah, in real life. But yeah, so there's some quick hits from last week. Obviously, like I said, we missed quite a lot of news last week, but we're not going to get into that right now. Ross, Even though we've had 2 weeks, I've not worked on any of my segues. So can you just plug this horrible gap I've left with your sultry tones and tell us all about Tavern?
Before you do that, Deathloop's coming, and that's the main story we need to talk
Hang on,
about.
we'll get to that.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
I'm too excited to talk about it.
Fucking hell, ruining the fucking flow. Ross, plug me.
Gladly. Apple and Spotify podcasts, please rate us 5-star. Leave a comment underneath as well so that you can put in your lovely input to the show. And the more people that sort of input, give us 5 stars, the more exposure that we get, more people's ears we get into, and get to hear this glorious banter that we have every Sunday at 8 p.m.
Ish.
on youtube.com/Xbox Tavern official. Jay will have a list of all the new reviews that have been put up on xboxtavern.com. Socials, as you can see, run along the bottom of the screen. So you can find us on your Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, all different ones. And speaking of Patreon, if you want to support us with your hard-earned cash, you can do so at patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. Shout out to our superstar supporter, Beth. Thank you very much for your ongoing support for it.
You'll be getting a message shortly, Beth.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
I need to send her her prize.
Yes,
this is a saucy one with you in the controller.
Controversial one. Yeah, the controller.
Only Dan's exclusive.
Discord, you can find the link in our show notes. Come jump in. We've got a couple of things that are popping off in the Discord just now. So the amazing, I can't remember the gentleman's name because Jay has been the one that's put it out, but the gentleman that is behind the Guess the Game, which is basically like Wordle, but it's for video games. You get six pictures. Six. So you get 6 pictures, different parts from the game. Obviously, it starts off very obscure, works to be a little bit more obvious. Get X amount of guesses to try and work out what the game is. We've got a channel dedicated in Discord for that. People have been popping up their daily suggestions. Dan is as useless as a waterproof tea bag, so usually he's got 6 red marks, or maybe occasionally 2 black marks and the rest red. But the rest of the community and the rest of the hosts seem to actually be somewhat competent gamers and can work most of them out.
Hey, you have no right, Dan. You got one really badly wrong.
Exactly.
I didn't play it, I don't think.
Is that the Metal Gear one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play it. I can't.
Ridiculous.
Can't help you there.
Also, with our next segment coming up, the Game of the Years through the years, quite a lot of community contribution for that. So if you want to get in for your Game of the Years, this year's one is 2017. That's in the show notes, but is it not 20? Yeah, 2017. I was getting mixed up there. So obviously next week's one, 2018. So if you want to jump in with your suggestions for that, do so in the Discord channel. And last but by no means least, our favourite people over at Insert Coin are still running their current promotion, which is £5 off orders over £50. Promo code for that is Xbox Tavern 22. Not that I'm giving away anything that I probably shouldn't be, but the lovely Jay is rocking some Mass Effect joggies, and they look.
I'd show you, but that means I will get up.
How do you know he's wearing joggers?
Exactly, Dan. Exactly.
Let me put them back on, Aeon.
How many cameras have you got?
Oh, yeah. So he's rocking the N7 joggies to go with the N7 hoodie.
Is there anything on the back?
There is not, unfortunately.
You don't want to ask him to wear underpants.
A big lion's symbol on the ass cheek would have been lovely. But no, jump over to Insert Coin. Always got amazing stuff. Loads from your favourite games, Resident Evil, Horizon, Mass Effect. Top to bottom, you'll find something that suits you, and always great deal. The quality is amazing as well. So jump over to Insert Coin for £5 orders over £50. And that, Jay, is you well and truly plugged.
I feel satiated once again. Thank you ever so much.
I'm so glad.
Right, so let's get to the segment that Ross alluded to in the plugs, and that is the game of the year throughout the years on Xbox. And this week we are doing 2017. If you're not familiar, we go through the years since Xbox began up to today, and we pick a game from each year that we would say would be our game of the year. We talk about, we discuss, and then we mock one of us for picking some shit game. So, speaking of which, Ian, why don't you go first?
Whoa! Controversial. My favourite game for 2017 is, if everyone knows me far too well, it has to be, without a shadow of a doubt, Road Rage. No,
Ah.
no, The Escapist Too.
Yeah.
Escapist 2? What game's that?
What game was Escapist 2?
Seeing as he had some sort of unofficial world record for the first one, I could have seen this one coming.
Yep, straight away. My son was probably 1 month old, and I played this probably for 30 hours straight trying to complete it. So at the moment, I think you won the wrong trailer there, Ross, but
Is this not the Escapists?
this is the first one.
Is it? Why did this come up?
Anyway, same principle, isn't it?
Oh no, it's changed. Take it back. It hasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say it was just showing you the trailer for basically the first one. And now it's showing you that this is what's new in the second one. Don't question my editing skills, bitch.
That was almost awkward.
I'm so glad I went to you first, Ian.
Thank you. Oh, David, why did you go me first? Yes. But yeah, I think it's kind of changed it up more. Obviously, it had the multiplayer aspects, which was quite fun. So you could do loads of co-op escapes, but also versus escapes. So you could fight to whoever gets escape prison first, which is always quite good fun. The combat system was a lot more easier as well, because before it was more just hit and then run away, whereas this one you kind of lock onto characters that you which were easier to find. And I think it's just more variety of escaping, whereas the first one it was quite simple to escape. Well, the prisons here had a bit more, I guess, a flow. So you had like 3 or 4 different ways of trying to escape the prison, and you had kind of like a little storyline of what you could do to try and escape. So for me. And had more prisons as well. I think at the launch it had 3 kind of moving prisons where like transport prisons. So like where you're transporting between different prisons, which was quite cool. You had to escape them, and obviously your 6 usual ones you had to escape as well.
And I know you obviously got world first and first. Did you get world first and the second one?
Yes, I did.
Damn right.
Damn right. I got a cool little bag for it as well. So yeah, I think.
And since then, there's not been a third one or anything. They've done different ones like Survivalists and was it Walking Dead and other bits and pieces. Yeah,
Survivalist was good, but it wasn't. Part of me didn't really enjoy it too much. I think I've preferred the kind of concept of trying to escape an area where Survivalist more just you had to survive, and then there was no real ending. You constantly just trying to survive. Obviously, the ending bit was where we had to make a massive like ship galleon. You had to find that, and then you use that to kind of escape the islands and stuff. But still, then there was a bit more. I think it was only like we call it one glorified prison escape, really.
So your game of the year for 2017 on Xbox would be
The Escapist Too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so cool. Any honourable mentions other than Road Rage, obviously, because that should be everyone's real pick.
The game that you took about 5 years to complete. It's the beautiful title called Sonic Mania. I mean, it went back to Sonic's roots, didn't it? Really. So I think. With all I never really got into the whole 3D aspect of Sonic. I prefer my side-scrolling joy, and the fact they brought this back when it was new levels and stuff like that, and bring back some of the old ones remastering, and it just worked quite well, and I loved it.
It was a really good game. So good. Like I said, it took me like 4 years to finish it.
Not to go on a tangent in regards to Sonic and 3D. What's your thoughts on Frontiers, just quickly?
I'm not. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't think I'm picking it up though, because again, I feel like Sonic's meant to go fast, and I feel with Frontier, it looks like it's going slow.
Hands-on EGX.
Exactly. We'll get to play it on Friday, hopefully.
So hopefully, yes. I've got to give it. I've got at least with this going to EGX to get to try it, and I definitely want to try it whilst I'm there. But at the moment, I feel like from what I've seen so far, it feels like a slowed down Sonic. It's like, well, no, you want to go fast, you want to be speedy, you want to zip through everywhere, and it just feels like he's just going too slow.
Well, we'll look at that on Friday. We should have talked about it, really, shouldn't we? We're all going to EGX on Friday.
Booyah!
Very exciting.
Some of us are doing Saturday as well.
Oh, look at you!
I know. Well, if you've got to come all the way down from
fucking
arse end of nowhere. Jinx. Anyway, right, yeah. So
just the same pops we're up.
So we'll be there. We're playing some video games. If you happen to be there as well, feel free to say hi. You probably be able to spot us quite easily, but feel free to say hi.
You have to spot Jay.
Yeah.
We once wearing Power Ranger hoodies.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So we'll be there. Ian's pick is done. Graham, tell me all about your video game favorite of 2017, please.
So mine was a bit harder from trying to find the sort of one that really stood out for me, but the one I ended up choosing was the Middle-earth Shadow of War, and the sequel of the Shadows of Mordor game. And it took a really sort of fresh new concept from the first one and then just ramped it up for the second one. Really sort of, it kicked on. It kept everything that you enjoyed about the first one. The combat was just as good, if not a bit more tougher in the second time around. And it allowed you to sort of create your own kind of orc army in this one. Instead, you had to sort of pick off the ranks and then work your way up and sort of take different leaders out and then work with the other kind of leaders to sort of overthrow others as it progressed further and further on through the story. But I think the only thing it maybe was a little bit too similar to the original one. There wasn't as much sort of freshness, but it's still, if you did enjoy the first one, and this is almost like a great follow-on from the original, but it's just way more tougher, way more things to do. It's almost like it should have been like this in the first one as well, this kind of sort of toughness to it. That's what I mean. You're supposed to lose sometimes because you get the extra effects of people recognizing you still when you lose and stuff. And so, it's just a shame I didn't go through and completely finish this game, but it's something still on my current games that I have got through to finish at some point. But of all the games that I have played on that year, this was definitely my most favorite on that list.
Nice. So it still had the nemesis system, like you were saying, like fighting named orcs, and they remember you. Oh, I remember you cut my arm off, but I'm back.
Yeah,
back. I killed you.
And in the last one, you could proper cheese some of the enemies, but there is no cheesing as much in this one. It's way more. You had to really sort of earn your wins against the sort of the boss people in this one.
Wasn't the Shadow games quite stealthy?
No.
Yeah,
certain aspects of it.
You could try it. If you pulled off the stealth one, you got rewarded for it because it made it an easier victory. But that's very, very rare if you could pull something like that off.
Yeah, and certain bosses are immune to stealth. So, like, if you actually go like stealthy against them and then try and do a stealth move, they'll like catch you midair and like throw you down, and then you get like the wee cutscene where they give you like the cutscene where it's like you comes up with the guy's name and then you get in a fight. So there was sometimes where it was like if you like killed their like the right hand man, you found out all their weaknesses and what they were scared of and stuff like that. So there were certain ones when you done it, it basically it told you like what their weakness is, and some of them were like susceptible to stealth, so you could basically one hit kill them. And then on the flip side of it, there was ones where they were immune to stealth, which is where you ended up getting grabbed and flung to one side, basically getting called a rat for trying to stealth kill them.
Yeah, if I remember memory, there's some bigger old bosses as well. They're not all just the same sort of orc ones. I remember
there's a lot of different ones. Yeah, because you had I can't remember, you had the massive big like random enemies that were in the original one, and then they actually become a more prominent part of the second one, where so you can actually get them on your army type idea.
Yeah, and by God, do you need them at some point? Some of them are just kind of brutal.
That game ramps up the difficulty compared to the first one.
Yeah,
I mean, it was my backup game for my game of the year. I mean, I love the first one, and the second one, as you were saying, Gray, just adds in everything that the first one did great, and then added in a new layer in regards to like creating your own army and things like that.
Yeah. So definitely a decent game. If you love the original, this one's just as good, but it's just harder and more in depth and involved.
Definitely one I wanted to try because I really liked the first one. As ever, never got round to it. Have you got any honourable mentions? Apart from Road Rage, obviously.
Massive. I think M++ was out this year or something around.
On Xbox, I think that was one 2017. Kaninch mentioned that one as well. We'll get to later on.
Yeah, there's a couple of others that dabbled in a few other people's mentions, but no, nothing massively that stood out that I'd want to call out.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get on to ladies' favourite. Daniel, then. Tell me all about your favourite video game from 2017, please, sir.
The game that gave me nightmares for months and months and months. Hellblade, Senuous Sacrifice. What can I say about it? The game was amazing. Very... it brought you in. Obviously talked about Senua and her kind of struggle with as she's progressing through the game, her mental health or her voices that she was hearing in her head. If you didn't play this game with headphones on, you missed kind of, as you're going through, like hearing herself doubt herself. And sometimes I'd be like, is there someone behind me? Is there not? It really freaked me out. And it was at the time when my kids weren't sleeping very good either. So I'd be like, all right, who's crying in the background?
It was very effective, wasn't it? Just the way the voices come from all. It's like, you can't do it. You're gonna fail. It's like, what? Leave me alone.
Yeah,
especially when Dan has those voices anyway.
Because I could just hear
it. You're only gonna 10 minutes.
I've got to go now.
This game.
But yeah, just like how they played with the spatial audio was brilliant. I didn't play it in 2017. I think I played it the year after, but I was just completely kind of drawn into it. Mechanically, it possibly wasn't the best game I've ever played. It was a bit janky, a tiny bit. However, the story was superb. The puzzles were quite good as well, because you had to sometimes... I can't remember how some of them work. You'd have to like step back and
they're like line of sight puzzles, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and you'd have to like press another button
just
so you could work out how to do the puzzles. I almost 1000G'd this one. I think there was a bit
like the phone. What?
Yeah, I almost 1000G'd this one. There was something like the Assassin's Creed feather thing. You had to find like totem poles, and then you had to click into them. And I think I missed 2 at the end. And I believe at the time it didn't have like chapter select. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not going back and playing this game again. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. I think it's really good. I'm looking forward to when Hellblade comes out. Well, number 2, when that comes out. Hopefully sometime soon. Because I'm desperate to play it again.
I believe it's supposed to be this year, right?
This year isn't.
What? I thought it was.
Or has it been...
I thought it was 23.
I could be.
Well, it hasn't been announced, has it? It kind of showed that it was coming out, and then there's been nothing else. So I don't know.
I remember there was a couple of parts in this game, like you said, with the combat where you're sort of like one-on-one mostly, aren't you? But sometimes there'd be a couple of enemies, and although they'd very kindly wait and take their turn, it was fucking hard to try and like deflect their attacks and actually kill one and then move on to the next one.
Yeah, and you had to use you picked up, if I remember correctly, certain abilities as you're going through. So you had to, with some bosses, had to use that kind of ability to kind of help starve off or parry whatever they were doing, so you could then move on to the next guy. Yeah. And I'm sure it worked out that the end boss was a lot easier than 2 or 3 bosses previous, which just felt a bit daft.
There's a lot of games in that though.
Yeah, quite a few games have that.
But it's a very good game though. It's very I wouldn't say enjoyable, because like I said, it's very trying on like the mental health side of things, but it's an experience.
It puts you on edge when you play, and it's definitely something to try and to experience. But if you can kind of plow through it, it is. I think the story is superb.
I mean, I think like you said in regards to the way that they play around, like obviously a lot of people when they're playing video games look at the graphical side of things and how a game looks. But the fact of how they've managed to do it with the audio score and the actual way that they have, especially with as you're saying, with the spatial sound, if you're playing it through headphones, where it's like it almost makes you want to turn your head when you're playing it, because you hear it from one area and you're like you want to spin round. You know you're playing a game, but they do such a great job at the way they've developed it that you know that you're playing a game, but you still have that feeling that you need to sort of look as to where that voice is coming from. They've done an amazing job with it. It's a masterpiece in like audio production.
Yeah, I'm sure it won awards for the audio.
Yeah,
without a doubt. But yeah, like as I said, it's something people need to try and do with your headphones. And if you're a bit scared, play it with
the curtains open and during the day, but do the headphones and actually experience the full impact of how they've developed it.
Any honourable mentions in there before we move on to
another one that I didn't play in 2017. Only recently I played it, but Little Nightmare.
I'm in the same boat as you, Dan.
So going through, And after playing kind of Limbo and Inside, it's in the same vein.
So fucked up.
Yeah, but it's really good and it's really enjoyable, and it just I like those kind of side-scrolling games, but then throw in the weird kind of baby capturer. Yeah, that all puts me off. I've just picked up Little Nightmares 2. It was on sale, so I can't wait to play that and try and finish that off.
That's the only one I've played, but I thought Little Nightmares 2. Well, I think we spoke about it in our Game of the Year for last year or the year before. Almost my Game of the Year. It's fucking brilliant. But I've not played the first one yet, so I want to get back to that.
Oh, you need to jump on and play it. It's really good.
But your choice is Hellblade's
Senuous Sacrifice.
So I'll go whichever one it is. Cool. Good. Definitely. And that's on Game Pass, right?
Yes, believe it still is. Yeah. I don't think it's left.
Definitely go and play that then, gentlemen, if you haven't played it already. Ross, tell me all about your favourite game of 2017.
I love how you've left these two to be the last two to be talked about.
Well, we've got to save the best till last, haven't we?
So my one, I've went for one of the newer ones, but Assassin's Creed Origins. So this is one of the ones I hadn't played at the time, or I had played it at the time. Got X amount of the way through. Bayek as a character just wasn't clicking with me, so dropped it. Completed the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Valhalla, and thought I need this sort of huge RPG Assassin's Creed fix. I thought I'm going to jump back into Origins, and so glad I did, because it shocks me that I didn't actually get into this the first time. Bayek as a character is fantastic. He is no bullshit. He will quite happily take your head off at the drop of a hat. He's no way, shape, or form one for fucking around. He is one of the best assassins that they've put out there. Probably just behind Ezio, in my opinion. He's a great character. The character design in regards to sort of the Egyptian style that he rocks, obviously he can unlock ridiculous fucking godlike looking clothes, but how he looks originally is an amazing look. The gameplay, the storyline of it is brilliant. The interactive parts with the different Egyptian gods is great, and the DLCs as well are really good as well for the game. Beautiful, as you would expect for the sort of modern day Assassin's Creed games. The map is ridiculously huge, scaling up the top of the pyramids to try and get to a synchronization point. You see across the whole Nile. Just an amazing game, great gameplay, and as I say, some of the boss battles, as you'll see there with the serpent, it's just an amazing experience in that game.
Nice. So this was the first one they did after they took a
this is the first. This is the first reboot of the more modern style Assassin's Creed games,
which is also on Game Pass now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. No, did this not just come out because Odyssey came in?
Did it leave because they added different?
I don't know if it's left, but I know they've just brought Odyssey into the Game Pass, or it's coming to Game Pass. I don't know if it's in yet.
I'm just looking now.
Yeah, Odyssey's in Game Pass as of the 15th, but I don't know if this one came out or not.
Yeah, Origins is in.
Origins is in as well. So you've got the two of the more recent ones in Game Pass, both 100-hour plus games, if that's your cup of tea. I know the four of you are a little bit less keen on putting that sort of hours in a game, but for the fact that they're built into your subscription, that's a lot of games for what you're already paying in your monthly subscription.
And was this the one that had I forget his name, the guy who's going to be in Mirage?
No, that was Valhalla.
Okay.
He was in. This one didn't have any other characters that had been in the series so far.
Good. Nice. Well, any honourable mentions in?
So just as Gray had said, Shadow of War was probably my backup if I hadn't went for AC Origins. I was a massive fan of Shadow of Mordor. The whole Nemesis system's probably one of, if not the best mechanic in game for any type of just the whole world comes back around type idea. So this guy kills you in the first 2 hours of the game. You go to a different part of the map, and 25 hours later in the game, you find him again. He's ranked up. He's killed X amount of war chiefs and things like that, and he's now like the left-hand man for fucking the mouth of Sauron. And you're like, shit, I had a chance to kill you at like level 3, at level 45. Just, it's an amazing system. The fact that they recognize you for the way that they killed you, I've never seen something as sort of just unique as that Nemesis system. So the fact that they built on it in the second one and made it bigger, just hands down an amazing experience if you like that type of game, especially if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings world. It introduces a lot of things that the base version of the movies skip, and then going back to, if you're watching like the Rings of Power on Amazon at the moment, there's a lot of things that come into this that are mentioned in the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor games. So anybody who's a big fan of the Lord of the Rings series or books, this definitely ticks the box in regards to expanding on the lore.
Nice. Yes, I mean that's probably why I didn't play it, because I don't care about Lord of the Rings, like I said before. But I do want to try it because I did enjoy the first game quite a lot. However, I'm going to tell you about a game I did enjoy even more. Are you ready, Jet? Are you strapped in? Are you prepared?
Oh wait, I think we're getting a loose connection. You're actually cutting out, Jay. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Jay. We ran out of time for
sorry,
you now.
Yeah, we'll need to. So we're going to go on to the community's answers.
Oh shit, we're about to leave. No, right. So surprising, lucky, and literally no one. My pick for Game of the Year 2017 is Resident Evil 7. Well, I should say Biohazard, whatever. It just brought Resident Evil back to prominence. Obviously after 4 was excellent. 5 kind of, well, we don't need to get into that one. 6 shit the bed massively for the most part.
Hey, 6 was amazing.
5 was great.
I mean, we don't need to talk about over them fucking shit shows, but 7 brought it back perfectly. Added first person perspective like Outlast, but it gave you the option to fight back rather than just try and hide all the time. The Baker family were incredible, especially when early on in the game when you're walking around their house, and Jack Baker here, he's sort of chasing you around and you can hear him stomping behind you, and you turn around, he's right there with his big fucking axe, and he bursts through walls and kicks down doors chasing you. And then eventually Resident Evil's ups and turned into a big monster, and then his wife and the kids and everyone else was just terrifying in their own way, and that first person perspective just made it even more sort of visceral. I played a little bit in VR, but I didn't like the way you used the controller, but even that was like in your face, Mia chopping your hand off and with a chainsaw and stuff like that beginning of the game.
Fuck playing that in VR.
Yeah, I would like to have played more if I could have used the move controllers, but that's by the by. That's some PlayStation. Boo. Yeah.
It's a bit you were scared. Don't worry.
I mean, playing it on the flat screen, I was fucking scared, to be honest with you. Especially, I forget the fucking wife's name now, but playing in her bit where she's like crawling around like a big fucking spider. Marguerite, that's it. Yeah, absolutely terrifying. And it was the way they did sort of like almost like found footage, like filter over it. So it just felt creepy just at every turn, even in bits where you sort of gone through the house and you cleared out the enemies and you were about to go to the safe room. Chances are enemies would have respawned, or there would have been a new type of enemy there that you weren't prepared for, and you just have to fucking run around like a bastard, be like, I've got no ammo, help me. I wasn't a big fan of the molded. I think they could have done a bit better with them, which they did in Village, and they sort of like got rid of them now. But yeah,
I always forget this is without dragging down a fucking rabbit hole. What's the name of the stuff? Is it the mold?
I believe so. Yeah, it's something like that, because it's, well, I won't get into the story in case anyone wants to play it. Spoilers, but they're basically like creations of a person, as it were.
Yeah,
and yeah, they're called the molded. I forget if it's exactly like the issue is called the mold, as it were.
Yeah, because it comes on to like in what happens in Village, and then you get like a more explanation of things like that. But I can't remember exactly what the substance type idea is called. Yeah,
I believe it's called the mold. I'm gonna look right cunt now, but yeah, I thought it was fucking brilliant. Properly brought the Resi series back to prominence, like I said, and obviously after this they followed it with Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Village, and Resident Evil 4 remake next year, which will no doubt be very exciting indeed. I didn't check out much of the DLC. I tried a couple of the modes, like even someone's Jack's Birthday, I think it's called. Which were just like weird, quirky little additions, and the Chris DLC, which was Not a Hero, I believe it was called. That sort of like went back to more action sort of side of things. So he had a whacking right gun and he was just shooting everything left, right, and center. But the actual main Resident Evil 7 campaign, top fucking notch, sir. And fun fact for you: when I joined Xbox Tavern, the previous owner said, write a review for me, and I'll read it, and I'll see if I want you to write for me, because he had standards, and so I wrote him a review of Resident Evil 7, and here we are, several years later.
You're now taking control.
Thanks,
all
Resident
because
Evil
of
7.
Resident Evil.
Assuming direct
secret.
control.
He never read it.
Yeah. I mean, there's every chance that was the case, but yeah, no, I love Resident Evil 7, fucking brilliant. Obviously, so a couple of quick honorable mentions. Obviously, Sonic Mania, which took me 18 years to complete. Outlast 2, which was good, but if not, I think I preferred the first one. Dishonored, definitely Outsider, which again very good, but not quite as good as the other two. Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus, which was a fantastic game, and the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider. No shit, I've done it wrong again. No, fuck, sorry. And a little game called Road Rage. This
is great.
Right, secondary fun fact for you. I believe Road Rage was the second review I did for XboxTavern.com, which you can go check out on XboxTavern.com. And can I just read the first little bit for you so I can get the gist of why I think this game really should have been everybody's game of the year 2017. Road Rage loads up and functions as a piece of software. It didn't brick my Xbox or cause a house fire. No one got hurt, and it allowed me to turn it off, which is perhaps the greatest praise I can give Road Rage. It's not a good game. It's not even an okay one. It's quite possibly the worst gaming experience I've ever subjected myself to. And then it just goes on from there. And it was great fun writing that because it was utter shit. I mean, like I said, you can go read my full review on there.
And as Jay was saying, if you want to experience such high-class journalism, jump over to XboxTavern.com.
Damn right. It's not the longest review in the world, but it is full of vitriol and hate for this fucking game.
It hits the nail on the head.
Utter shit. But yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. We've got some great answers there. We're going to read out some community ones now quickly. I'm going to get my list up quickly. So Risky the Kid, again, I'm going to allow it because I like him, but he's chosen PlayStation game. Boom. Horizon Zero Dawn, which supposedly is very good.
It's a great game, to be fair.
Yes. And then we go to JB, who has chosen Lego City Undercover, which he calls it Grand Theft Auto Light, and he plays it with his kid, which is always exciting. Always good to get them involved in the gaming habits. And then special guest Pete, the one, the only, he's back. And he's chosen about 15 games, so we're going to read through them. His honorable mentions are M++, like Graham mentioned, Little Nightmares, as Dan mentioned. Mass Effect Andromeda was an honorable mention for special guest Pete. Can you believe? We need to sit down,
catch a breath, though, isn't it?
And beat him
because
it's a good game.
It's a good game, but it's not.
If it didn't have Mass Effect in the title, it would get looked upon a lot more favorably than it did.
But it's not his favorite game. His favorite game is What Remains of Edith Finch, which
fantastic
game. I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna say I can't argue with that really. That is a fucking cracking choice. So good work, everybody. Like Ross said earlier on, if you want to submit your own answers, hit us up on the Discord. Links and all that stuff down below. You can find us. Be lovely to come and join us. Get the chatter on. We were going a bit crazy with the GTA chatter earlier on, as well as obviously, as Ross said, to guess the game. Excitement. Love that fucking game. Brilliant.
Such a good game.
Such good fun. But now let's bring us back to the future. The games we are playing this week. And we're going to start with our Project Game Pass game, which I imagine everybody has played, which is Midnight Fight Express this month. So if you're not familiar, we do Project Game Pass. We pick a game from Game Pass and we play it every month for the month of the month that we choose it. And then everybody plays it, talks about it, rates it, and then move on. I played a little bit more this afternoon. I must admit, I'm not really liking it that much. It's all right, but it's just...
Oh, Dan's offended.
I think, as I said before, I think if I could play it with someone, I'd enjoy it more. But at the minute, I'm literally just...
How far you got?
Barely. I'm only on like levels 8 or 9, something like that. Not far at all, but...
You gone past the speed bump mission?
Spoilers!
I can't remember, but I've just been beating everyone up. And it's fun enough for a couple of minutes, and luckily the levels are very short. But I did like 2 levels earlier on, so that's enough for me. I'm done.
Have you gone back to the levels once you've upgraded your powers?
No, I think I did. I went back to the first level once I'd unlocked the choke slam and just started choke slamming everyone. But that's about it. Obviously, we'll get to Dan because he's reviewed it this week. His review has gone live mostly at the moment. But Graham, Ian, Ross, either of you checked it out yet?
I've not been in the country. That's my excuse.
That's my excuse, Graham.
Yeah, I've played it.
Nice.
Probably got about as far as you did as well. I'm not hating it. It's all right. It's not amazing, but it's all right. I have done as what Dan said. You pick up certain powers to sort of help you go back and make a bit more of it. Obviously, the more powers you, because I completed a level, that was like rank E. I thought I thought I did pretty well then. I was like, fuck's sake.
I did the same as you.
So, what the fuck was that about? So it's like you get more points if you get a better rank on the level. So I thought, okay, you get more power ups, so it makes the levels a little bit easier, or you can do things that you couldn't do before. But that, and I only noticed the objectives after about 4 or 5 levels in. It's like there's certain things that it tries to encourage you to do, and I made the most of that. But I just there's just so many different things to pick up and lob at people. Just and then you have the little scanning thing so you can see what you can pick up. It's the first thing I do, and then just make a dash for everything you can pick up and just lob shit at everyone. It's just the easiest, the quickest way to kill everyone. It's just literally throwing everything that's on site at everyone.
The minute you see someone with a gun, you're like, right, you're mine. I'm going for you.
Yeah.
You've got a gun, but I've got a trash can.
Yeah, the gun makes things a whole lot easier. You can pick one of those things up.
Yeah.
And you can get rinsed quite quickly if you don't take out the gun person quite quickly as well.
Gang up on you, don't they?
Yeah. It's all right. There's obviously a lot of different trees you can go down to take your character differently. As Jay was saying, the grapple route is definitely one way to go, and there's a few other different chains you can go down to sort of improve the experience, and it sort of allows you to mix and match or go back and retrace your steps. But I feel like I've lost some points when I tried to do that.
Can you respec or not? Like start from the beginning?
I thought you could. It says you could respec, but I swear I lost some points when I tried to respec. But maybe it's a bit further on, and I've just not had enough points to do it properly.
Yeah, I haven't respec'd yet. I might try that. Too late for the review, but
I mean, it's literally just gone live as we've been speaking, because I definitely didn't forget to put it up earlier on.
Well, you only put on half, didn't you? Half came up.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
Not terrible, but not amazing either.
Nice. So, obviously, Ross hasn't played it. Ian, I'm assuming you haven't played it because you were trying to hide away.
Yes, maybe. I've been playing another game which I was invested in because I didn't want to play it for left Game Pass. But now I'm a free as a bird, so I'll do it this week.
Nice. Okay. Well, let's see.
This is the shenanigans I keep having to deal with. If you start picking a stealth game, I'm going to start. I was out the country as well.
I legitimately was. I was down in your country, to be fair.
So you were in Great Britain, so you technically didn't leave the country.
Great Britain isn't a country, you idiot.
What? Whatever.
Oh, it's getting angry again.
Let's move on. Daniel, tell us what your thoughts on Midnight Fight Express, please.
I'm really enjoying it. I like Gray said, as you played it, you're like, hang on, I battered the absolute bejesus out of each character, and I didn't use the same moveset, and I only got the crappiest mark. And then realized if you go back after you kind of spend a few more points, you just go through and it's a piece of piss, and you can S rank the whole level. Like I said, my only one gripe with it is all the text and the fact that you've got to read it and there's no voice acting. Really pees me off. Even if they had like cheesy kind of all the guys in the studio just reading the script, it would have been, for my personal benefit, would have been so much easier.
I've just been skipping through all the story. Just beep. I've not been reading it at all. I couldn't tell you anything about it. You're called Babyface, maybe.
You're Babyface. You're trying to fight the big crime boss who's trying to take over the world. And I think it works out every 5 to 10 levels. You kind of are fighting that area's ringleader, and then you move on to the next one. This is essentially what I've got from it. But like I said, if it would have had voice acting, I would have been a lot more invested in terms of the story. But I'm just enjoying the beat 'em up aspect of it, going around, throw a box at someone, punch them in the face, kick someone else, press Y when you can kind of go through past them all and block them. And then it gives you a chain of events where you can like then flip him over or clothesline him. Yeah. But it's good.
So I'm like I said, I'm not enjoying it that much, but it's quite fun just in short bursts of just beating the shit out of everyone. And I quite like they've got kind of like Batman Arkham style. So when you beat someone down, it sort of like gives you an X-ray, doesn't it, of their skull or their chest or whatever you hit them. It just sort of shows them like breaking and blood splattering and then they fall down. But as I said, I think I definitely would enjoy it a lot more if I could play it with someone else.
Best game that's ever done anything like that was Blitz the League. Fantastic game.
Breaking the testicles.
Oh yeah.
Yes, damn right. Right, let's move on to things we have been playing. However, I just want to add a quick breaking news alert. We had a competition running on Twitter's.
A competition, you say?
Social medias for a Nikon Pro Compact controller, which has now ended. So if you're listening now, sorry, tough shit, we'll have to do another one. But the winner is
drumroll, please.
_0W7.
I think it works out.
You won.
Tomahawk Owl, doesn't it?
Yeah, something like that. So you won. So obviously Daniel's been in touch with you, I believe. We'll get that controller shipped to you at some point in the next few days.
Congratulations.
Well done. So yeah, keep an eye on our social stuff, as Daniel likes to run competitions fairly regularly.
Just stealth drops them, just
like, here you go, have a prize.
Just like that.
Yeah, well done, Tomahawk. Enjoy the controller. It's a very good controller. Cool. Let's move on now to more games we've been playing. Let's give Daniel a break, shall we? Let's go to.
Oh, thanks,
Ian.
Me again.
I want to hear what you got to say, because you've been playing a game that I'm particularly interested in.
Which one? I played 2 games this week.
I'm not interested in the second one. Tell me all about Plague Tale. You finished it now.
I finished Plague Tale. Yes, finally. I thought I'm going to get this done before I left Game Pass, and I'm glad I did it. But also, I have a few gripes with it. Mainly because her little brother Hugo is a fucking whiny little bitch.
Isn't that the same way all like little brother, little sister type characters in games?
Yeah, I know. You thought he'd be less annoying, but no, he's an annoying little shit.
I mean, he is suffering from some sort of infection that's trying to kill him, but I guess you and he's only about 4, and he's like, I miss you. Why can't I see Mummy? Because Mummy's dead. Oh,
she's pan-breed.
Yeah, exactly. Tough shit. She's dead. No, I mean, he was, but I think I found the sections more when you're not babysitting him, way more fun, way more less fun where you're going solo with just her.
But that's the same with most games, isn't it? It's like anytime you've got like a supervising mission where you've got to like take something from A to B, it's a shit mission.
Yeah.
But at least you can hold his hand and drag him along.
That's true. The thing is, what mentioned, like I said, what Jay mentioned last time was, you're right, it's very linear. There's only like one path you can make, and that's it. There's no variety of where you want to kind of stealth around if you wanted to. You've just got this one straight path where you have to go, and you have to time your movements wise. But also, I found it's not really need to be stealth too much, because once you start getting the slingshot, just fucking start killing everyone.
Yeah, that slingshot is way overpowered, especially like you said, that they come charging at you like 1, 2, dead.
Okay.
1, 2, dead. Okay.
Yeah. Every now and again, the aim is off, and then you get hit, and you don't miss him, and he stabs you in like 1 hit, 1 kill. But same that way with them is kind of 1 or 2 hit kills, depending if they got a helmet on or not. But I still actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Makes me look forward to the second one more now, knowing I've completed the first one and actually done it.
And as we said before, I think I'd hope they just expand out the stealth, so you've got a bit of more options, not just this is how you solve this part.
I do wonder where they're going to go with it, how the ending was. It's like, where are they going to move this to now? Like, it does feel like it's a game where it's had a nice ending, and that was it. So I don't know where they're going to go with it next. And they haven't really given much away, have you? Have they?
Not much. Like I said, there was a cover story in Edge last month, I think it was, or the month before. There wasn't too much detail in there other than that they're going to be together again and they're going to go on an adventure and some form of things are going to happen. But again, I won't spoil it if you haven't finished it yet.
No. Yeah, I assume something's going to go crazy in another town or something like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm happy I did it. Really glad I completed it, and just got to wait and see now what happens to the second one.
We've only got, what, is it about a month or so until the second one's out?
It's not a long wait.
Something like the end of October or something, I think. Yeah, good. All right, tell us all about your second game then.
Second game is Amazon Delivery Simulator called Death Stranding. So
UPS Delivery Simulator. Come on, man.
UPS. Well, yeah, UPS is more. Yeah, Amazon just chuck the box at your door.
Yeah, exactly. You're not in. Yeet.
Knock and done there. You list UPS and knock and wait for you. I'm so far what I've played. I feel like I've watched more cutscenes than I have played the game.
In a Hideo Kojima game, never.
Surely not. I think that's my biggest gripe of what I've heard about this game. I mean, visually, it's meant to be stunning, and when you are playing the game, it's brilliant. But you spend too much time not playing the game, if that makes sense.
Yes, and that's exactly that. It's like I feel like I'm more watching cutscenes, trying to understand the bloody game.
Yeah, I mean the casting is ridiculous as well.
I mean, it's got some, like I say, great voice acting, and like everything is voice acting in the flesh. Even the bit when you're skipping text, it's still voice acting. But yeah, it's. I don't know how I am on it. I want to play more because I've got to a point now where I started getting some deliveries done. I'm on a few for the earlier chapters where you're kind of learning the mechanics and stuff. But then again, I'm also wondering, like, because the kind of aspect is where it's kind of online and you kind of, when you're, for example, when you're going from A to B, people have left like ladders and stuff down for you. I'm wondering if there's a ways where you don't have that, so you can actually try and find a way yourself to do it. Because it does feel like you're very much, maybe in the earlier games it is, but very much your hand is held, or you have to go this way, this ladder and stuff. And this ladder's way there for you because someone else has put it down for you. So, you just follow that path and it's quite easy.
I kind of wish they'd done it like the not Death Stranding, that's the game you're playing, the Dark Souls approach, where like they leave you a message, but whether or not you want to trust that message is a different thing. And like, I kind of want them to do that with the ladders. Like, yeah, this is the ladder you need to take to get over this bit, Cliff.
Yeah, that would be quite funny.
That would be like the better part of it.
Yeah, that would be quite fun. Yeah, you could put it again. You probably could do that, like put ladders down and pretend right where you're going. And the cargo aspect, again, it can feel quite slow. I'm looking forward to more when I start getting vehicles. I can actually transfer from A to B quite quickly compared to lugging a fucking massive box on your back. And I still don't understand the baby yet. Still trying to learn the baby bit. The baby's a bit weird. Like it's. I understand the kind of what's happening, but it's also very quirky. Like, I still need to figure this all out. I'm hoping that it expands more when the story progresses more. Because I'm still early days, but I'm looking forward to hoping that more happens. That would make it
further into
more enjoyable.
It delivering more of them packages. Like I said before, I'd like to give it a try, but whether I get to it or not. It's debatable because there's too many other games.
I know, considering my PC's like probably 6 years old, I'm surprised it's actually ran it quite well.
It's not fucking caught fire.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, fucking, this looks actually fucking damn good for my PC. Like,
get a message of Kojima come out saying, no, turn it off.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it, and I will probably play a bit more. Of course, I play Project Game Pass first, but.
Of course, yeah, naturally. That's your
1000 G.
Yeah.
And my review, of course, which I can't talk about.
Yes, which I can't talk about just yet. But we shall move on to Graham. Tell me all about video games. Thank you, Ian.
Yeah. So the ones I have been playing, one is the recent review that's obviously popped out recently from the site, and that's Knights and Guns. That is a very sort of simple remake of an old school game that I used to play at the arcades when I was younger called Pang. He was just like this guy who shot sort of this rope power up in the air to burst bubbles, and it divided into two smaller bubbles, and it just kept going and going and going until they're all gone. So in a similar sort of vein, you just got a 2D platform and you can only shoot upwards.
Okay.
And it gets, I mean, some of it looks quite bullet hellish, but it's designed that way. You've got quite a bit of sort of health to sort of last, and you can get armor and everything. So you can take a bit of pounding before you sort of really lose all your health. And it's just, a lot of tactical where you place yourself, like memorizing patterns to know where to shoot upwards, because you have different kind of guns you have to work with. Every sort of level you get sort of gives you like a basic duff gun to sort of try and complete the level with to get the most out of the coins, or you can spend a little bit of money to get a slightly better gun to do it with. But I always stick with the original gun because I like a bit more of a challenge. Plus, once you're playing through it, as you kill enemies, some of them drop temporary guns that you can use throughout the level anyway. They like range from like lasers to a sniper rifle or something that can go through the enemies, and it differs very slightly to try and mix it up a bit of variety. Each level has sort of different objectives. One might be to survive wave after wave of enemy until the end. One is to destroy all the enemies that appear. Another might be you have to take out a certain hard enemy that's on the level, whilst every other enemy just keeps coming at you. So they're endless, but you have to take out certain specific ones. And yeah, and as you progress, you earn money to sort of unlock better armor to last that bit longer. And yeah, or you can use your money to buy better guns to do some of the more challenging levels. You can play it 2-player. It's only local. You can't play it online 2-player, which is a bit of a shame. But for a simplistic game, it's one of those ones you can jump into for like, when it's just a pick up and play kind of one that you can just do, complete a little bit, and then before it sort of starts wearing a little bit thin, you can just come back to it and just play it on the side of one of those kind of titles.
You see, but, just the clip that I've just seen there, it gives me what's the game called? Metal Slug. It gives me Metal Slug vibes in regards to like the fire. And I know that goes up the way. I know this one only goes up the way, but it gives me that type of the art style and the movement back and forward with enemies coming in and things like that. It gives me that sort of vibe as well for it.
Yeah, but obviously you're on a set grid. There's either a very narrow screen, so you can only move about that's on the one screen, or it's slightly wider and it takes you sort of about 5 seconds to walk from one left side of the screen to the other. So it can open up a little bit. And it's quite mean-spirited on some of the levels because it's got like little dog-like creatures that hover along the ground, and obviously you can only shoot up. It's like, well, how the fuck do I supposed to take these out? They jump at certain points, but you kind of got to gauge where they are, and you've got like a dash button, but that they don't tell you that straight away. The dash button hurts the enemies as you dash through them. So that's how you kind of hit the ground, the enemies on the floor. And when there's swarms of enemies like you saw before, sometimes a good dash can clear a few of them out. So yeah, challenging enough, and yeah, it just brought back memories of the old school game that I played in the past. The other one, which I need to finish writing the review up for, is Still Rising. That's the half Dark Souls-y kind of game that's based on automatons. So I thought this was going to be sort of extremely kind of difficult Dark Souls-y based, but instead it's in a similar kind of style. You're kind of sort of darting away from enemy attacks and going in for sort of hit and runs like that. But if you try and sort of power or cheese through everyone, you're going to get done. But the patterns are relatively simple to manage, and you've got a variety of different weapons to actually pick from depending on your playstyle. If you're confident that you can parry and deflect, you can go for that kind of weapon. If you're not, you can go for like a real big sort of heavy shield weapon that can just block all the attacks, but your attack is really slow, so you really got to time your attacks well. Or you can play it in a variety of different kind of ways. And basically, as you're an automaton, you basically upgrade certain things about your machinery that helps either improve the weapon that you're using, or increase your health, or the luck on the sort of the drops that appear out, and increase. Basically, you don't have health as such. You have certain oils that kind of restore your health, but it might just be health anyway. And the game itself is sort of, it looks great. It's sort of semi-linear. You can only kind of go one way through it, but you kind of have to revert back and do certain bits before you can progress to the other bits around the kind of area. And in the same way that is Dark Souls, is that it has a seat or something that you sit on that you do your upgrades for, and after you sit on, all the enemies kind of respawn back again, and obviously you collect that experience. If you die, you pick up the experience again to sort of upgrade yourself. So that's where the Dark Souls-y elements comes in. Only kind of drawback for me is it's very sort of lacks a lot of atmosphere. There's not a lot of background music, if any, at the time, so it feels a bit kind of lifeless at times. So you just hear chinking and just sword play, which is fine, but a lot of it just you kind of need a bit of background music to help fill in some of the gaps.
Nothing to get the fighting spirit going.
Usually, you have your little background music that's a bit eerie or a bit sort of atmospheric, and then you go into sort of battle music. That seems to be missing. I don't know if I'm turn something off, but it just seems very sort of cold at times.
Is this like you're saying, it's like a Dark Souls type thing, but looking at the trailer that Ross just put up, it looks almost like Ninja Gaiden as well, like a bit more fast paced than Dark Souls.
I would say it is. So yes, to me, I think it's just there's Dark Soulsy elements where you can't just run into enemies to kill them, but I know a lot of games can have that kind of style. It's just the way you collect experience, the way you sit down to upgrade, and once you upgrade, enemies respawn. That's the kind of vein that I was getting at for a Soulsy kind of type game. But yeah, it also has a custom difficulty feature. Like if you're really cack, not looking at anyone in particular, you can actually put their health down, or you can put ultimate armor on or ultimate sort of damage, and so you can basically make the game a breeze to go through if you just want the kind of story. It's semi-intriguing, the story, but it's not really one that you'd kind of play through the story. It looks like soldiers have been replaced with certain automatons, and a lot of them have gone astray, and you seem a bit. I don't know if you've ever seen the film I, Robot, where obviously one of the automatons has a bit of a soul and is a bit better than the others, a bit more human than the others. And that's what your kind of automaton seems to be.
I think the issue, it's not an issue as such, but the thing I have with these games is if you look at Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Steel Rising, visually they all look absolutely superb. I mean, they're beautiful games to look at and play. I just don't have this. Maybe, as you're saying, this is a bit on the lesser side of the Soulborn type idea. You don't have to worry about it as much. I just don't have the skill, or I don't have the patience to learn what order the moves that are attacking me in. And
this
then
is not like that. It's not as bad as that. I mean, I've put in quite a few hours. I think I've only died twice, and that was only just me being a bit careless. Even some of the bigger bosses didn't even sort of put me down. So. And I'm playing on the normal difficulty, so it's fine. It's nowhere near that kind of difficulty level or that kind of irritating. The initial bit, once you come up to a new enemy, I was like, okay, how's this? No, they're going to sort of come at me, and sometimes they surprise you. They do an attack and then they bounce and do a secondary attack, and then once you get hit once, you're like, okay, I'm wised up to that bit now. I'm going to do that bit, and so it's nowhere near as hard as those, but it's not too bad. Just it seems a bit lifeless at times.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
anything else been playing? Oh, sorry.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah. Lastly, shamefully, if you think
this is a bit of a change.
Well, it is and it isn't. So I was always kind of into sort of the Animal Crossing kind of games back when I was playing it on sort of the Switch and the sort of the Game Boy Advance and things like that, and the 3DS when they were on those. And so I tried this for the kids to start off with, just to get them into that. They only know certain Disney characters. So I'm talking about the Disney Dreamlight Valley. So it's very much sort of Animal Crossing stroke. What's it called? Stardew.
Stardew Valley. Yes.
But it's more towards sort of Animal Crossing. It's all about the sort of the atmosphere that you're kind of in. You're chatting around with characters, doing sort of missions for them to sort of get their friendship up, and you unlock kind of quests. And the more things you kind of do, you earn more. This thing called Dreamlight, which is what you use to unlock realms to sort of find other characters and bring them back to the valley. So basically, it plays a game almost like it was designed for adults. A thing called the forgetting happens. So everyone's kind of forgotten who they are or who everyone else is, and almost like because you haven't seen some of these sort of Disney characters for so long, it kind of plays upon your own sort of, because you haven't sort of spoken to them a long time, like an adult going back to their toys kind of thing. You just need to try and work out why they've been forgotten, and you start interacting with them, finding out things about them, and everyone starts remembering things again. It's kind of things from their kind of stories, like you got their Ratatouille on this thing, so you have to help make some meals for the other characters, and there's so many different recipes that you can kind of cook, and there's so many different things you can pick up, and so it's kind of a neat little thing. There's harvesting, like crops. You can plant crops, harvest crops. You can dig for things. You can mine for different kind of gems. You can go fishing in there, and basically, Scrooge is the biggest. Yeah, choose your own swear word for that one in the game. Just everything in there, sort of he's kind of the new era pay to play kind of guy that's kind of in there, just charges for absolutely everything and just an extortionate amount. And yeah, so there's a lot of things that you can upgrade, make your house bigger, make storage bigger, make other people's houses bigger, and everything you do costs money. And like to even unlock fast travel, the certain wells in the game, you have to pay Scrooge even more money to do it. And yeah, so it's just earning money takes a bit of time, earning Dreamlight takes a bit of time, and some of the quests in there are quite mean-spirited and take a lengthy old time to kind of do, but it's just quite a casual game. And if you're into sort of those kind of Animal Crossing casual games that are no pressure at all, like nothing can go wrong, you can't fail or anything, it's just one of those chilled experiences. And it just, yeah, it got me hooked a little bit, and the kids like watching me play it as well. So
Nice.
yeah, a very good, wholesome kind of game.
Nice. That just came to Game Pass recently, right?
It did. You can tell there's so much room for expansion. Like they've only got like, I think there's about 16, 17 kind of Disney characters in there at the moment. And there's like so many other realms that you can see locked up. I mean, it advertises like Lilo and Stitch in the trailer, but I haven't even found them yet. And they're not even kind of unlockable yet. So it's almost like there's so much in there that's still to come. So
it's an early access release. As well, isn't it?
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot still to come, and I've kind of unlocked all the realms. I've unlocked all the fast points, and there's like one more character that I can unlock who I know it's going to be, but I won't spoil it now. But yeah, I think there's a lot of room to kind of grow and expand. So there is some things that you could probably pay to sort of advance. So I can see where they're going to try and monetize certain things, and I imagine all the extra characters are probably going to be paid DLC as well to sort of get. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, if you like those kind of casual games, it's kind of like Animal Crossing, what Animal Crossing could be if they kind of made it a bit more interactive with other villagers rather than just general chatting nonsense.
It seems like what you've explained, like either an evolution or a de-evolution of. Do you remember like Lego Dimensions and Marvel? I can't remember the bloody thing. Disney Infinite and all that rubbish. Yeah, it kind of seems like they've gone. Okay, that product didn't work, we'll do it in game, and then as you say, we can then monetize it by adding extra areas. Kind
of, but the realms are quite small, so I think it's just literally to add extra characters to kind of bring them in to sort of extend the game a bit more. So I think that's how they're going to plan to do it. I don't know how else they can either do it, whether they're going to create new realms further down the line, but
yeah, it must be something to expand.
How they introduce new characters.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for that. Lots of good games. I definitely heard everything you said. So, who have we gone to yet? Ross, tell me all about video games you've been playing this week.
No.
I'm ready. So, I should have taken a piss here, shouldn't I, already?
You should have. This would have been completely. This would have been the opportune moment to disappear from the camera. So I have been on holiday this week, so I haven't had a chance to play much games, but I do have a very substantial and long-winded update in regards to Football Manager 22.
Wonderful.
No.
I'll keep it brief. The second season of my network game has been completed. There has been quite a big European presence from both Brighton, Hove Albion and Bristol City. So Bristol City actually won the Europa League. It was a comfortable victory. I think it ended up being, and I've had a total mind blank, I'm sure it was against Man United, and they ended up winning that. So they were the Europa League champions, and Brighton and Hove Albion actually won the Champions League, going up against Liverpool. So both of the teams getting played have been won by European glory of this year, and the league actually went down to the second last game of the season. It was between Brighton and Bristol, and Brighton came out as victors and have won the Premier League as well as the Champions League and also the Super Cup. So we won the European Super Cup playing up against Bristol City. So that has another feather in my bonnet for the fact that the person that I'm playing the network game with has still not managed to defeat me in this save. And we're just getting ready to... We've just had the Champions League draw for the group stages, and we're just getting ready to head into the new season. So that'll be year 3, and some developments from that. But as not to spoil the listeners' enjoyment and my fellow hosts, the first part of the FM22 Network Save blog has been completed. It is almost ready to be submitted to Jay, so you can get that up on the site. And in any updates from...
He's so excited to do that.
Yeah. Well, it should be, because it just means I'm not going to talk about it on the show, because I'll save it all for going up on the website. So all Jay needs to do is saying, if anybody is suicidal enough to read Rossi's blog about Football Manager 22, it's now up on xboxtavern.com. So no, the first part of that's finished. Part 2 hopefully finished by the time we come back from London, and then when we complete the third season, there will be ongoing uploads every time a year is completed in game.
Have you not given people tips and tricks on how to scout players and things like that?
I will do when FM23 drops, which is going day and date to Game Pass on PC and on Xbox.
And what date is that?
November sometime. I can't remember the exact date.
7th or 23rd.
Would you look at that? I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to leave Xbox Tavern on November the 6th. Oh, shit.
November 8th, it drops in Game Pass, and that's on PC and on the actual console as well. And they've also bring touch back for this year as well.
Wonderful. Even more exciting. Cool. So, yeah. So, as Ross said, I'll get his article updated on the website as and when he sends it to me. So look for that in the next 6 to 8 months. Right, Daniel, tell me all about video games that you've been playing.
I was going to say,
Express.
I was going to say, enjoy that proofreading. Right, so it dropped in Game Pass. I've been playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. I have no idea what made me jump on and download this, but I downloaded it, started playing, and I'm, to be fair, quite enjoying it. It's a very light-hearted Assassin's Creed. So it's got all the kind of Assassin's Creed nonsense that you would expect, like collecting things, but it actually has humor, and it looks quite nice in the kind of Fortnite-esque style graphics.
It's like if Zelda and Assassin's Creed had a baby.
Almost
I was
as
going
if
to say,
you've
don't read that Forbes quote out.
Almost as if you read that thing. No, like there is strong... Like Gray reviewed this, and he might agree or disagree with me, but it is, you can feel how heavy Assassin's Creedy it is. However, it kind of
much more lighthearted.
Yeah, it's lighthearted. It gives you humor. You know, Zeus and Prometheus are. Yeah. Prometheus is telling Zeus a story, and Prometheus is making you, Phoenix, this kind of almighty god, and Zeus is like, no, he's not a god. He's gonna die by this demon. It's all like, you know, quite funny, lighthearted. The gameplay it's all right. It's nothing too taxing. I am playing it on story mode, however.
Well, you wait till you get to some of the puzzles, you'll definitely hit some taxing points.
He's playing it on story mode.
I'm playing it on story mode, guys.
Some of the puzzles as you get further in the game. The puzzles, I don't even know. It's not like fighting or anything. It's literally the puzzles you have to work out.
It's so far I've enjoyed it.
It is good. I admit it was good.
It's good. Whether I'll play it longer, I don't know. But for the time being,
it's a bit too long for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I presume this is, what is it, a 30-ish hour game?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, that it might be 25 hours too long. But the 2 hours I've played.
2 years.
Yeah.
The 20 minutes I've played.
Yeah, I've played 2 hours, thank you. According to my save. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's like I said, it's fun, it's lighthearted. It's something I was semi-interested in when it got released. However, the kind of the time you had to put into it put me off. Being in Game Pass though, it's free, so I took a punt on it. I should complete other games though, but never mind.
Yeah, that's what the Game Pass is there for. Just a little bit of every game, and don't actually finish any of them.
Yeah, I mean that's the story of my life. I don't finish anything.
I'm not touching that with a fucking barge pole. Anything else, Daniel?
No, unfortunately, that is all. That's all I've been playing. It's been a very tight week, back to school and everything else. So
busy time.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you very much. I shall indulge you all with my fucking massive list of games I'm playing. I'll go from relatively quickly because we've been going for nearly 2 hours already, and it's fucking madness. I know.
think Ross is falling asleep as
Yeah,
well.
No.
We don't have to get up for work in the morning, but that's not the point. We go way too long here. So I
Does
reviewed.
Ross have to work though?
No. We for some reason we're closed. I don't know why that worked out.
He's wangled it as well, you know.
She died up here,
anyway.
so it's only fair game.
Right, so yeah, I've reviewed 3 titles this week, one of which the review will be up tomorrow. But the first one is You Suck at Parking, which was added to Game Pass a couple of days ago. And this is a puzzle game that it requires you to drive your car from the start point to several parking spots within a level, but you can't stop it until you get to those points. So once you go, you just have to keep fucking flooring it.
Cool.
Almost like what's it? Speed, that film? Like you cannot slow down. You must keep going. Although it's not strictly true because you can kind of stop for a very brief moment and then carry on again, but you can't.
That's like handbrake turning, isn't it, and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't sort of drive to a bit, line up, stop, figure out where you're going. You have to keep moving all the time. It's quite hard, especially by the time you get to the last set of levels and stuff. But it's a lot of fun. The level design is really good. There's lots of jumps and twists and turns, and there's bits where you'll have a fan that will blow you up in the air, and then another fan will catch you and blow you the other way, and then you got to land on a ramp and come down a swing and jump and all sorts of crazy shit like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's one of those pick up like Midnight Fight Express, like I said, pick up for 5 minutes, play maybe 3 or 4 levels, be like, excellent, put it down for a little bit, come back to it later on. It's the single player is quite hard, like I said, by the time you get to the end. And they started to add like bullet hell stuff in, which I love bullet hell, but this was just ridiculous. But there is an online mode which I didn't get to check out till after I wrote the review, and it's up to 8 players, and you basically have to be the first to park in all of the spots. There's about between 8 and 10 spots on each level, and that's a lot of fun because you can bump each other out the way and you can race to the spots, and then once you parked in one, you've got that spot. You don't have to sort of keep your car there or anything. And I quite enjoyed that, and I was going to suggest it for a Project Game Pass game. However, at the minute there's no party play, so we couldn't play it together. We just have to join a random lobby and hope we get put in together.
Oh god, I'm not doing that.
So that could wait for a little while.
It looks awesome, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, single player is really good. And one thing I did enjoy about it, because there's quite a bit of physics basedness to it. If you're driving around a level and you're just about to hit the parking spot, but for example, a mine blows you up, or one of the rockets that gets fired blows you up, you'll get sent back to beginning. But that car will still be in play, so it might then roll into place and then land on the parking spot, in which case it counts, as long as there's a physical vehicle on that spot, even if it's blown up, which is quite nice. But at the same time, you can also drive around and knock your car out of the parking spot if you're not careful. So it's a bit of swings and roundabouts, as they say. The main thing I didn't enjoy about it was the physics kind of played against you. There's a couple of levels where they've got like bumps in the road, but it's really hard to tell because you've got like an isometric camera, and you try and turn the corner and your car just goes flying across because it's not actually on the ground. But it's hard to know that you're going to fly through the air at that point, and that cost me a few times, which was annoying. But other than that, I enjoyed the single player, and the multiplayer especially was a lot of fun. And once they've added the party update, I would highly recommend that we jump in and play together, because I think it could provide some hilarity.
Just watching Dan trying to play it would be fantastic.
Exactly, it's brilliant. I can just picture the rage.
No, he will not.
Who says that? So I can't see the name.
Man with a plan.
Yes. Will he complete it? Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, it's unlikely. But like I said, it's really hard. And there's even like if you say a parking level's got 3 parking spots. If you park on all 3 of them spots first time, you get a gold medal, and you have to add them up and then unlock further harder levels, which I must admit I tried one and I'd failed spectacularly, so I didn't even try it again. But yeah, the more gold levels you get, the more harder levels you can unlock, which is good fun. Next game is Cube, the 10th anniversary edition. Ian, I believe you said you played this before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the comparison game just yet because that's not fair, but it's a really good game. It's really first person puzzle game where you're setting this like alien cube and stuff, and the idea is you've got 4 or 5 different coloured blocks you can interact with. Like the red one will create a tower up to a certain height, the green one will drop a block, the blue one will spring you up, and so on and so forth. And you sort of set in these little puzzle rooms, and you have to just use each one to figure out how to get through it. And it's not necessarily hard, but there are a few points that I got stuck on. I was talking to Ian when I was playing a couple of levels the other night, and it was like I could see what I've got to do, but I can't figure out how to make it do that. But I eventually got past it, and I really enjoyed it. It's not quite as good as that other game that shall not be mentioned, which I'm sure you can guess what it may be. But yeah, I've enjoyed it, and the story is a bit weird, gets a bit crazy towards the end. But yeah, it looks nice. They've upspuffed the visuals nicely. They've given a whole extra level for this re-release.
I was about to say, what's the difference? So these times,
I've never played the original, but as far as I'm aware, the first set of 7 levels are the same, and you just get one extra one beyond that.
Okay.
But yeah, I've enjoyed my time playing through that. Very good game. It looks at both reviews of them are on the site right now. Last game I want to talk about is Isonzo, which myself, Ian, Graham, and special guest Pete played the other night, Friday night.
So I was curious about
this game.
I mean, I've never actually heard of it, and I've only watched the trailer from when you mentioned it, and I'm looking at it like, man, this game looks incredible.
So it's a World War I first-person shooter, like online multiplayer game. There's no single player at all. Where you can play against bots, but there's still a multiplayer match, I think. And they've done Verdun and Tannenberg. I reviewed Tannenberg 2 years ago, I think. And they basically carried on from there. So it's very authentic to the era. Like you've got pistols and rifles that take forever to aim and shoot and reload. And it's quite difficult to see what's going on. And the game mode in this is, I think they call it like assault or something. And the idea is one team of players has to attack the other team of players' defensive points. So you've got an A and a B location. If they capture both A and B, then their front line moves forward, and then they've got to capture the next A and B location. But the defenders have to stop them getting all the way to the other side of the map. And each map's different, but there's between like 4 and 6 different like sections you got to go through, and it's quite tough to get into, as Graham and Ian will probably attest to. Like if you're not familiar with that sort of setup, or if you're not used to something that's not Call of Duty, like run around shooting everyone in the face as fast as possible, it's quite an acquired taste. But once you get into the flow of it, I think it's really good. It's something different. It's 20 versus 20. AI players fill in the gaps of the real players, but this version's got crossplay. So I think most of the time when we played, we had a full complement of like 40 players playing.
Yeah, mostly PC probably.
Mostly PC, I think. Yeah, I definitely got killed by some PlayStation players a few times, which I
got killed by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there was one player in our game called Taylor Swift Fan something, and he was just mopping the floor of us. I don't know if he had some fucking secret code or something, but he was just destroying us.
Every time, like, people head, Taylor Swift, like,
but it's very, like I said, you can't just run in and gun, like, fucking balls to the wall, fucking fire machine guns and stuff. You got to slowly approach the objectives and creep and crawl your way around. And when you fire a shot with the rifle, you fire a shot and it takes like 4 or 5 seconds to get ready to fire the next shot, at which point they probably shot you in the face. And I had a back and forth earlier on when I was playing it on my own, where I shot and I missed, and the guy shot at me and he missed, and we're both just standing there like quickly trying to reload our gun, like who's going to reload first? Surprising no one, I lost because I can't aim for shit. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable game, as much as like reliving the horrors of World War I is enjoyable, because it's quite, especially if you're playing on your own. I think when we played as a group, we didn't quite notice it as much. But if you play solo, you hear like the screams of the soldiers, and there's like fucking arms and heads everywhere, and it's like this is proper grim. But
yeah,
as a group, we were like proper getting some tactics going on, picking different classes and that. And Pete was, especially because Pete was a sniper. I think Gray stuck with the sniper for a little while as well.
Oh yeah, I was picking a lot of heads off.
And I was going for the engineers, so you could build like turrets and embankments and stuff. And I can't remember what class were you going for?
I was the officer, so I was always in the airstrikes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they can call in some mustard gas or fucking bombings or strafing runs and stuff.
Yeah,
and
like I
said,
think the nice thing with that one, you can only do pistol kills. And you couldn't pick up any gun.
Yeah.
It was always like pistol, bang, bang, bang. But lucky enough, you do a white pistol because they do their one shot and miss you, and like 4 pistol bullets into them, and they die.
I was going to say it's generally a one shot, one kill as well, unless you hit them in the arm or leg with a pistol or something. But I enjoyed it very much. So I enjoyed Tannenberg, and that was a bit more smaller scale, whereas this is quite a large scale. The only problem I think with this I found was playing on my own. The matches go on for way too long. I played for about half an hour this morning, and I only got about halfway through a game because I had to head off, so I had to turn it off in the end. It takes so long for one team to advance if the defenders are even remotely capable, and then you've got to advance about, like I said, 4, 5, 6 times. But I enjoyed it. I think it's a good alternative to the regular first-person shooters.
Defense is way more easy than offense.
Yeah, definitely.
Like night and day different. And it's a bit of a shame. That's not like you can do much tactics with it.
Yeah, look, it's good. I'm very happy to see crossplay because Tannenberg suffered very quickly because even about 2 weeks after launch, after I reviewed it, there was like 5 players online on Xbox at a time, and I was like, I need more players. Whereas here, like I said, we've had, when I checked the lobby this morning, there was at least a couple of 100 players playing on a Sunday morning.
It's pretty good.
That's always good. Like, long may it continue. So good games. Like I said, my review for that will be up, I think, tomorrow. I've set it to go live. And the other 2 are already up there on xboxtavern.com. You can go check them out. And one more thing, which I've forgotten to get. Let me just grab it. Fill the air, gentlemen. Fill the air.
Fill the air. Well,
we did play Fall Guys as well that night, and that was fun. We did the football mode, which was actually quite hilarious.
The football mode?
Yeah, it's like what do you call it? Like Rocket League, Fall Guys.
Yeah, is that the one where it's like the balls drop in it and you've got to grab them? And sorry, I was getting confused there. It's like football mode and Fall Guys. What the fuck?
It was actually surprising, actually quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got 2 wins, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 or 3 wins. Yeah, we actually did all right because, like you say, it's all you have the team set up, and it's quite nice because obviously at the end of it, you're fighting your teammates. Which was obviously 4v4, and we did quite well. We won 3 out of 4. I think we did.
Yeah, it's like Fall Guys Rocket League. It's good fun.
And Jay's word of encouragement as well were nice.
Ian, you can do it.
You can do it.
I believe in you. All right, and I'll keep this very brief because we're going way too long now. But I reviewed recently this. I don't know if you can see that very well.
Ooh.
The Moga XP7X PowerA cloud gaming controller.
For Android?
For Android. I think this one is it just for Android?
Don't trust anyone's got Apple.
Android and Windows.
Hey.
So it's Bluetooth, obviously. The great thing that I enjoyed about this is so it starts like that. You slide this bit out, and that's like a little stand you can put on your table, so you haven't got to hold it in your hands if you want.
Oh, nice.
Which is nifty, little touch. Obviously, controllers like that. Obviously, if you're not watching this, I'm terribly sorry. This is very visual. But you got that. It stretches out nicely to hold your phone. But I've reviewed a few cloud gaming controllers, and they've all been really good so far. But this is probably my favorite, mainly for like the form factor of the Xbox controller sort of handheld thing. The triggers are decent, the buttons are decent, and that. However, this one has got some built-in flappy paddles on the back.
Do you say that's Bluetooth?
Yeah, Bluetooth. Only one per side, but you can set it obviously to whatever button you like. So they're slightly too low down for my liking, like as a quick go. But once I got used to it, it was fucking brilliant. It works wonderfully. It charges if you've got a wireless charge-enabled device. This will do that as well.
Nice.
So you can charge your phone while you're playing, and you can also plug it in via USB. So if your controller's got no battery, plug it in via the phone, and it'll run off that battery, so you can still play. Should you be out and about and I need to play some cloud gaming, but I've got no charge? No problem. Just make sure you've got a cable with you, and you'll be laughing.
How much is that setting you back?
I believe this is $99.99, which is generally the price of these cloud controllers. But this is definitely, for my money, the best one I've used.
So what? Obviously, the new Rikishi's coming out, or the new Rikishi for Android is already out, the V2.
Yes.
And the I
haven't tried the Razer.
The iPhone, the iPhone 1 is due to come out. Fucking iOS always late to the fucking party. So that'd be interesting to see comparatively for that.
Yes. So yeah, like I said, I've got plenty of reviews up on the site, but this one definitely up for my money anyway. Not that I paid for it, of course, because they were very kind to send one for me for review, but definitely the best one I've used so far. It feels great. Like I said, it feels like an Xbox controller.
Sounds chunky.
It
sounds substantial, yeah.
Yeah, and whether you use the stand or put your phone in the actual device itself, it's very comfortable and easy to play with. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Reviews up on xboxtavern.com. I don't know if I said that yet or not. xboxtavern.com. You've heard of it. You should go check it out as a website. But yeah, that's it. I've sort of rambled through all them quickly because we're going, like I said, way too fucking long at this point. However, gentlemen, let's not end it there. Let's not ruin what we've got, a good thing that we've got going on. Let's talk about things that come to Game Pass, shall we?
It's just a small list.
Just a small list. And Ross, please enlighten us what we can play this month.
So, as we were off last week, we have ones that we'll need to recap. So, I will fly through these at a rate of knots as Dan looks like he's ready to murder all of us when he sees us on Friday. So we have Amazing Cultivation Simulator, September 14th PC. You Suck at Parking, as G was mentioning earlier, which is September 14th on console, PC, and cloud. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, September 15th, console, PC, and cloud. The next few are the 15th as well. So we've got Danganronpa, V3, Killing Harmony, Despot's Game, Fuga Melodies of Steel, Metal Hellsinger, Nuno Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch Remastered, Outer Wilds, great game if you haven't played it, jump into that one. And all of them are various different places, console, PC, cloud, jumping between a few of them. The big one, Deathloop, coming to Game Pass on September 20th. I think we're all looking forward to jumping into that one. Beacon Pines, September 22nd, console and PC. Slime Rancher 2, early access, September 22nd, console, PC. Grounded, the 1.0 release on September 27th, console, PC, cloud. Moonscars, September 27th on console and PC. And Valheim, September 29th on PC.
Fantastic games there, including Metal Hellsinger, which I'm not going to get into now. I have played some of that. I don't know if you guys have checked it out yet. Fucking brilliant. If you haven't played it, play it.
I want to play Ni no Kuni. That's the one I want to look.
I've heard a lot of people asking about Ni no Kuni.
Yes. Special guest Pete is probably playing it right now as we speak. So, yeah, that's a good little game for that. But yeah, definitely go check them out. And obviously, Deathloop. I can't wait. Even though I've been playing it on PlayStation, I'm probably going to start it again on the Xbox just so I can play it more regularly. However, it's not all good news. And we've got to break some people's hearts at some point. Ian,
sad times.
Tell us what's leaving Game Pass, please.
So leaving us on the end of this month is Slime Rancher, Lemnis Gate, Going Under, Dirt 4, Dirt Rally, Subnautica Below Zero, Dandy Ace, Unsighted, AI The Somnus Files, Astra Ascending, The Procession to Calvary, and Visage.
Some fairly fair to middling titles there that are leaving us now.
Yeah, Lemnis Gate is good. Really enjoyed that.
I still want to properly play that with someone because I'd never really got into it. I'll play it with you, but yeah, Visage can do one, but yeah, we can play some Lemnis Gate. However, if you're not up with the kids, you don't want to get in with the cool crowd. You just want to stick with the old games with Gold Graham. For the last month, for some of them anyway, tell us what we can pick up for free.
Well, you can pick up Gods Will Fall from September the 1st to the 30th, Double Kick Heroes from September the 16th to October 15th, and Portal 2 from September the 16th to the 30th.
Damn right, I made sure to redeem that earlier on, even though I already own it. Why the fuck not, eh?
Exactly.
Can't be a bit of Portal. And I did skip over just very quickly. I want to just read out some reviews from the guys on the site because they do some fantastic work each and every week. Obviously, Daniel's review went live as we spoke. Midnight Fight Express, he gave it a 7.5. Go check out his video review on youtube.com/XboxTavernOfficial as well as XboxTavern.com. AJ pulling in some fucking shifts at the minute. He reviewed Kaiju, the Kaiju dating sim, and SD Gundam Battle Alliance. We've had some fairly fair to middling reviews recently, including James's 80s Overdrive review. But you can go back and check all them out on xboxtavern.com. Thank you very much. And after just over 2 hours, I believe that's us done, gentlemen. We've achieved, we've made it. We've talked video games, we've talked GTA, we've talked all sorts of goodness, including some Resident Evil. Not quite enough Resident Evil for my liking, but we'll get back to that next week. Anything else to add before we wrap it up?
Resident Evil's on sale.
I'm going to try to abuse that Dan, but I won't be. But
also, if people are falling in love with Football Manager 22, if you've got Prime Gaming, you can pick it up for free.
Why did I ask?
We're gonna be in person soon. We're gonna talk to each other and touch.
We
each
are.
other.
Right. So we're
I have to share a room with Dan again.
Dan, can we spoon again?
You and Dan were enjoying that spoon on the Saturday on the Friday.
Yes, if Ian falls asleep again at 6 o'clock, then we've got some fucking problems. But thank you very much. We'll see you all in person Friday at EGX in London. If
Let's hope it's better than last year.
Let's hope. I mean, Sonic says it can't be any worse, can it?
From what I've seen in regards to the schedule and the games there, and obviously EGX last year was the first time I'd ever been, but from what I've seen comparatively, it's night and day. It's meant to be infinitely bigger.
It looks massive this year.
It looks huge with some of it. Even just if you look at the basis of Modern Warfare 2's beta is going to be hands-on, for example. I mean, that by itself is bigger than anything was at last year's show, including the awesome Fall Guys stage.
Fall Guys escalator. That was brilliant.
I was hoping to spend the day in the pub.
Yeah, exactly. We were fucking pints deep by fucking 1 o'clock.
Well, we'll see what happens, won't we? We might end up shit-faced regardless of what games are there anyway. But if you're there on Friday, feel free to say hi if you see us walking around.
You will see us all with our very bright-coloured Xbox Tavern hoodies on. So,
and if not,
give us a shout.
We will give you the lowdown and the recap when we record next Sunday, I guess, at 8 p.m.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much. I've been Jamie. You can follow me at Enaxan, and I've been joined this week by Ian.
Hello, goodbye.
Ross.
Scottish Gruff.
Oh, that bit. Sorry.
Don't worry, Ian. I'll credit you.
You've missed it now, Ian. Graham.
Graham Reaper.
And Daniel.
Chocolate Bear 80. Oh my god.
Thank you very much.
Hello, goodbye.
Have a wonderful week, and we shall speak to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Guten Hugger.
Bye.